Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network as we present coverage of the 2025 Class 3A Baseball State Championship game. We'll be streaming live tonight on Facebook at Region Sports Nation, on regionsports.com, at YouTube on the Region Sports channel, and on the IHSAA Champions Network. We come to you tonight from Victory Field in downtown Indianapolis, home of the Indians, as the Andrean 59ers take on the Jasper Wildcats for the 3A baseball title. My name is Chris Ramirez. I'll be handling the play-by-play for today's game, and joining me on color analysis will be Michael Bradner. How's it going, Michael?
Chris, I am excited to be here. We had a state championship already crowned earlier in the 1A class, and now we've got 3A coming up here this evening. I'm going to tell you a little story. I didn't tell you this before the broadcast because I knew you would tell me no. But this feels full circle for me to be here calling a game with you at a baseball state championship. I asked you if you called that 2012 game. I knew you did, and that was the first time I ever listened to the Region Sports Network, was that 2012 state championship game. And getting to call Lake Central last year, now getting to call a game with you, this really feels full circle of these last however many years it's been, 13 years.
Well, wow, Michael, thank you for saying that. I mean, I know you mentioned listening earlier to me to that game, but you didn't mention it was the first time you had listened. So glad to have you, not only as a listener, but glad to have you as a teammate as well. And I didn't realize that's where it all started. But yeah, I had the call on that game from right over there, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, your melodious voice tuned me in.
How about that? Who would have ever thought it would have come 13 years later, you and I would be sitting here. But thank you for mentioning that, Michael. And like I said, glad to have you on the team, my friend.
Yeah, this is going to be a good matchup here today. Andrean and Jasper, two quality teams. You talk about two storied programs, Chris, two coaches that have been around a long time, a lot of wins, a lot of state championships. This is going to be arguably probably the most evenly matched game of this entire weekend, probably one of the best out there for the entire weekend. So, I mean, we saw a lot last year. Who knows what tomorrow brings, but this is going to be a good one here this evening.
No question about it. These two teams, kids that go to these two schools to play baseball, this is their expectation, that they end up here on this day playing in this kind of a game. So reality for these two, but it'll be disappointment for one of them later, because not only do they expect to be playing in a game like this, Michael, they expect to be winning it when it's all said and done.
Yeah, no question about it. Obviously, the Andrean 59ers on that redemption tour and revenge tour, if you will, after getting knocked out in sectionals last year, they're here, and there's a point to it. There's a reason that they went back to the drawing board. Coach Pischker went back to the drawing board last summer and said, okay, what are we missing? What are we not doing right? And, something's clicking, and now they're back here in a state championship where, if you ask anybody from 5959 Broadway, this is where they belong.
Yeah, this isn't a field trip for Andrean down to the state capitol here. They're not here on some, fact-finding mission or anything like that. They're not down here to explore the state capitol area. They are here for one reason and one reason only. And, we just talked to Assistant Athletic Director Nathan Laird, who was up here. He said that, the team's they're down here for the game. They didn't stay last night. They haven't been down here all day. They're not staying tonight. Most of the parents aren't staying tonight. This is a business trip, plain and simple. Yeah, absolutely. There was one intention for this entire trip down here, and it's purely business. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to do this one. A lot of questions as to who might start this one. You start looking at the Jasper lineup. Okay, do you go with your righty? Do you go with your lefty? We'll reveal that in a little bit. We're not going to spoil any secrets right now, but I tell you what, we went back to the drawing board last summer for Andrean. Yeah, 5959 Broadway. This is an expectation, and like you said at the very top, when these kids go to these schools, this is the expectation. This is where they want to go on a regular basis. So. All business, all suited up, ready to go, and it's going to be a fun one. It should be. One way or another, a 15th state championship for these two teams will come at the end of this one. Who will get it, that remains to be seen. Right now, Andrean comes in with 6 state victories. Eight state victories. Jasper has 6 state victories. So one of these two teams will move up today. It'll either be 9-6 or 8-7, but either way, it tells you the prowess of these two programs and for how long they've been getting it done. And just an example on that, you mentioned the two coaches earlier and their longevity. Combined, we're looking at 82 full seasons of head coaching experience at their two schools.
Correct.
And over, I added up, I believe it's 2,089 victories between the two coming in. Dave Pischker of Andrean has a lead in that, as he's been around 6 years longer. But either way, those are some pretty incredible numbers. So you would expect a game like this to be top-notch.
Well, and I pointed this out on the previous broadcast. You know, these teams expect to be here every single year, but it's not easy to get here. Not a single team that participated in the state championship games last year, I don't care what class you're talking about, not a single team is here again this year, whether it's the state champion or the runners-up. None of them are here again. It's not easy to repeat. It's not easy to get this. Everything really has to break your way. The pitching has to go well. The hitting has to go well. The defense has to go well. You can't afford to, I mean, you can maybe make a blunder or two and then help, somebody else help you out a little bit, but you can't afford, as we saw in the first game, you can't let, certain things kind of just continue to spiral. Every little thing matters in games like this. So to get here is not an easy thing to do. Winning games in high school is not an easy thing to do. I know it looks easy, but for these two coaches with 2,000 plus wins, nearly 3,000, but at the same time, you ask any of these coaches, it's not easy to get wins. Again, everything has to go according to plan, and you know this better than anybody. Things don't always go according to plan. How many broadcasts have we done over the years where things didn't go according to plan? So
you got to adjust on the fly.
That's exactly right.
Yep, and you're exactly right when it comes to it not being easy. If it was, the old saying, if it was easy, everybody would do it, and not everybody's doing it. There are very few who have done it in the state at the level of these two schools and these two coaches. So, it looks really to be maybe perhaps the most competitive game of the weekend, but we'll see how that goes.
And that's not to say anything about the other two games going on tomorrow. It's just this is going to be a dogfight. No question about it.
Absolutely. And let's take a look, before we get into the dogfight, let's take a look at our Economy Electric first pitch forecast tonight for this ball game. We've got ideal conditions out here in downtown Indianapolis for the championship game. Right now it's mostly sunny. It's 82 degrees. I mean, mostly sunny. You barely see a cloud in the sky. Just a couple of splashes out there. Mostly a blue sky. The sun will be setting behind us here in just a little while. Got a south breeze of about 8 miles an hour, Michael. So that would indicate to me that maybe we'll get a little push over the left field wall at some point.
If you do, you really got to bang it, because it's 418 out to left center out there. It's 405 in that little triangle area out in their right center. I mean, it's a deep park out, especially out to that left side. So if it's 320 down the left field line there, but if you're going to get it down to the left field, you got to hit it, because with the 4A state championship game, we had somebody hit it out there last year. Any other field that's a home run, double at this park. But yeah, with a little bit of wind aided, it's got to really get up there, and you really got to mash it. Didn't see that a whole lot in the first game today, but it's very possible for sure with these two clubs.
For the wind to take any effect at all, it would need to be a high fly ball, definitely. A low line drive isn't going to get much help. It's going to have to do it on its own. So I don't think that will play much of a factor in tonight's ball game. But that is the Economy Electric first pitch forecast for you tonight, brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. They keep you cool in the summer, and they keep you cozy in Niners. And I'll do this one here, Michael. Blake Cowder will lead things off. He's the catcher for Dave Pischker and the 59ers. Mason Barth, the name a lot of people know, is the shortstop. He hits second. Caden Maxwell will hit third and play first base. Charlie Solis will play left field and hit cleanup. Stephen Mack is the designated hitter, batting fifth. Luke Gobin hits sixth and plays right field. Jet Dutton hits seventh and plays second base, with Paxton Lukic in left field hitting eighth, and Chase Nelson, the third baseman, will hit ninth. Pitching for Dave Pischker and the 59ers will be Brandon Brannigan.
Now that's we were talking about, do we throw the right-hander or the left-hander? Brannigan is the left-hander for Andrean. So kind of you have some lefties in this Jasper lineup, so that's kind of why you're going with this. Not the guy that some people might expect right off the bat, but certainly a neutralizer, and probably the pick that I would have gone with if it was me coaching. So
and the word leaking up here too, press row, is that Captain Hook Dave Pischker will be quick. He's got a lot of arms that he can go to, so if there's a need to make a change, he's not expected to waste much time today.
No, absolutely not. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our batting lineup for Jasper. The Wildcats leading off will be Caden Dunschmidt for number 6 for Jasper, followed by number 11. That's going to be Braden Giesler for the Wildcats. Then you've got Braxton Brosmer, followed by A.J. Holzman. And then at number 3 is Max Bayutel, followed by Kai Coons. And then 7th in the lineup, Jet Springer. Then you go down to number 8, Jack Gudorf. And then at number 9, rounding out the lineup, Nate Luke Meyer.
Yep, those are the Great Lakes Sports Hub batting orders for both teams. Thank you to Bobby Morris and everybody over at Great Lakes Sports Hub for sponsoring us this season. Great Lakes Sports Hub, more than a dome.
Now I will say for Jasper here, the Enigenberg Exteriors Home Improvement Hurlers, they will be throwing their right-hander. Actually, I'm going to confirm that just to make sure before I speak out of turn. Nope, he is the left-hander. I beg your pardon. So the left-hander is going to go for the Wildcats here today. That is Jack Levin for the Wildcats. So that is brought to you by Enigenberg Exteriors, experienced home roofing and siding contractor serving Indiana, Illinois, and Tennessee. Visit them on the web at ebergexteriors.com. So the left-hander, a couple of left-handers starting this thing up. I don't know the last time that's happened in a state championship game, but it's probably more common than I realized. But
I don't know. A couple of southpaws. I don't know. I can't recall that recently, but who knows? It could have, yeah. I mean, for all I know, it could have happened last year. But I don't think it's a common thing. But either way, that's what we have today, and we'll see just how long those two can go. You picking me up okay, Zach? All right, because I'm not really hearing myself in the cups. There we go. That's a little better. Thank you, sir. Victory Field, the location. We've got a number of things that we'll talk about and look out for in the game today, including our best hands in the business plays of the game. This could happen at any time, and it could be any number of things. It could be a good defensive play. Could be a guy that handles the bat well in a certain situation. You name it. A number of different things that come up, and we'll take a look. And as we see those, we'll point them out. There's not any one particular one that we'll name as the best hands of the game, particular play afterward. We'll just name them as they happen, and they are all brought to us courtesy of Bricklayers Local 4. You can start building your career today. All you got to do is visit baclocal4.org to find out more. You want to become a bricklayer and make some good money and have a career, they can help you out. Just again, baclocal4.org on the web.
I tell you what, in the first game we had here today, there was a line drive shot right back to the pitcher, and he had some of the best hands, thankfully, for his reflexes back to cover his face, because there was a line drive right back in his face, and if he didn't have the glove there to catch it, he'd have been going to the dentist on Monday.
I heard the call of that, Michael. Very exciting. You painted a good picture for it. I felt like I knew exactly what happened. I was just getting off of 65 when that happened.
Not too bad.
No, you were doing a great job, and I'm glad to be sitting in here with you tonight. It's going to be fun. Right now, the umpires are meeting at home plate. I don't know if we have all 4 of those names.
We sure do.
Okay, good, because I know a couple of them are local.
Yeah, we got Darren Haas behind the plate, Tanner Hoots over at first, Larry Babcock, the great Lawrence Babcock, over at second base, and then Craig Faught over at third base.
How about that? Craig Faught, a Hammond Gavitt ball player back in the day, class of 1985. He's been an official in basketball and football for a number of years, and does baseball as well for a long time. So congrats to Craig, seeing him down here. And, of course, Larry Babcock, one of our own guys, does a lot with us. Larry's a Wheeler grad from, late 90s. I'm not sure exactly what year, but Larry, of course, has been he's a wrestling official, he's a football official, he's a basketball official, he's a baseball umpire. So he does it all. And
he's coached volleyball?
Yes, he does volleyball. He's coached volleyball, and he's announced with us on volleyball and other things as well. So a little local flavor down there on the umpiring crew for this game.
I tell you what, Chris, I'd be hard-pressed to think of a better field to be at on a night like this. I mean, just the backdrop, all the high-rises, the hotels, everything. There's even more getting built out here in right field. It doesn't get any better than this scenic view, especially from our vantage point here up above behind home plate and kind of the suites area. We're above just about everything, and well taken care of here at Victory Field for sure.
Yeah, coming down here to Indianapolis for any event is fun. Other state championships, it's all fun. It's all a great time. We're blessed to do it any time that we get the opportunity. But you are right, Michael. There's something about sitting outside in this environment, in this situation, with this view that we have, and unfortunately we can't show it right now to the audience. But we've got downtown Indianapolis right in front of us, just laid out perfectly with a big blue sky. The stadium we're in, if you've been to Railcats U.S. Steel Yard, think of that, just a little bit bigger. It's a This is a AAA ballpark. The Indians, I believe they're either Cincinnati or Pittsburgh now. Okay, I know they've changed a couple of times, but they draw very well. This stadium seats about $10,000, and they'll fill it on a regular basis. It's nothing unusual for them to fill it or to have it half full all the time.
Correct.
So it's a great environment. Everything in Indianapolis, as most people that come down here find out real quick, is nice and close. You know, Chicago's a great place to go, Michael, but it's spread out. You got a big area to cover. Downtown Indianapolis is nice. You park the car and you go where you want.
You know, I tell you what, I was just in Philadelphia last week, and one cool thing about Philadelphia was that a lot of their big sports complexes are all within, kind of, you know how kind of in the region now, and this could be other places as well, all the fields are like right in this little complex together, whether it's baseball, softball, whether it's, you know, football, whatever, everything is all kind of right there. That's how Philadelphia was. That's kind of how Indy is. Cambridge Fieldhouse, not too far. Lucas Oil Stadium is right behind us. Everything is kind of right vicinity, right smack dab in the middle of the city. It kind of gives you a little bit of Wrigley Field vibes, a little bit, maybe not a neighborhood, but right smack dab in the middle of the city, not right off the highway.
Yeah, it's a good comparison. Different in a number of ways, but also very close in the sense that, very similar in the sense that, you know, Wrigleyville is a walkable area. You can do a lot in a little bit of a space. And that's Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis, a little bit bigger, more spread out than Wrigleyville, but a similar kind of a vibe and a setup. You can really, like I said, park your car. I rode my bicycle. I brought my bike down. I rode over from the hotel on my bike, and it took me a matter of, 5 minutes.
You rode your bike all the way down 65. I was like, man, that's quite a haul for you.
Well, I would have had to start yesterday, but I did give it some consideration. So right now the teams are out of the dugouts. They both warmed up. Andrean is the visiting team. They'll be in the first base dugout. They have come out now and are on the first base line. I believe we're getting ready for the national anthem and the introductions. Jasper is the home team in the third base dugout. They're huddling up and will take their place coming up here as they break the huddle along the third base line.
Let's get into our first kind of conversation. Do you like that every year automatically that the teams that qualify from southern semi-states get the home team advantage no matter what, and then some years then it alternates to the north the other year? Or would you prefer of the two teams that qualify, whoever has the better record?
Oh, that's a good question, Michael. That's a good question.
So here's where I stand on one particular issue. I feel like, obviously, I want regular season numbers to matter. I want records to matter. That should get to matter in something like this. I'm not opposed to, you know, necessarily the blind draw. It's got flaws, whatever. It's got benefits, but at the same time, your season record should matter. It should give you some kind of, because you can go 0 and whatever, and technically make your way to the state championship. Imagine putting that in a program, 0 and 30, but you're in the state championship.
Yeah, that would be.
And you get to be the home team if you're on that year where it's a home team.
Yep, and unlike other sports where a neutral site may be a neutral site, baseball,
it matters.
It's last at bat.
Correct.
So home team does play a bigger difference in a neutral setting, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I'm not faulting anybody, you know, any decision, man. There's flaws with anything. There's benefits with anything. I just, in this particular case,
a definite advantage for whoever gets that, you know, whether it be the team with the best record or the team who lucks into it based on what year it is and where they come from.
Correct.
But yeah, either way, I mean, I agree with you. The regular season, I'm all for the regular season record mattering in all sports, and you know, if those dividends pay off in the state tournament, then so be it. I believe we're doing some introductions.
Yeah, they are introducing the non-starters right now for both teams. We just had Andrean and the Jasper fans who have, well, let's face it, they have shown out. There is no question about it here. I know we can paint the picture. They are all the way from behind home plate all the way down the left field line. They are here, and they are loud, and they are proud. There's no question about it.
Yep, and the way we'll describe the Andrean audience is they have decided to stay back in Northwest Indiana and listen to the broadcast.
That's right. They wanted to listen to
So we thank them for that. Yep.
And you never know. 13 years down the road, somebody might be working with you again in 13 years, calling a state championship.
How about that? Yep. But I will say, I mean, the parents and families have shown up, but not a huge crowd on the Andrean side, but definitely if the cheering you're going to hear loudly in one way or another is going to come from our left here, which will be the Jasper crowd. There's several thousand people down there.
Well, and you probably experienced this last week, too, at the softball state championships, which you did a great job, by the way. One of the things that's hard about softball and baseball and the state championships, and whether it's golf or volleyball, whatever, you're at the end of the school year. Like, school is done for a lot of these schools. I have no idea about Jasper. I'm assuming I know it's done for Andrean. You know, it's hard to then corral your student body out to a game like that unless your friend, you have a really good student section that is diehard no matter what. That's hard to bring people out to games like this. And I don't care what school or what you're talking about. If we ended up doing basketball this time of year, it'd be hard to get people out for basketball. There's no question. It's just one of the unfortunate things about having to end this season after the school year ends. That's just one of the tough things about it.
And Andrean being a private school, they come from all over, and
Correct.
they sort of disperse at the end of the year. Jasper, what they've done is bring their community. So let's join the PA man. And there you have our national anthem as performed by the Circle Center Orchestra. Michael Bradner, yours truly, Chris Ramirez on the call with the Zach Squared, Zach Zanelli and Zach Miller. Jasper is on the field now. And we are just about set for baseball. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment for Jasper. I don't have any first names on this, so I'm going to give you last names for now. The Jasper outfield left, center, and right is Hulsman, Geisler, and Lukemeier. The infield third to first is Springer, Brosmer, Bueltel. Do I got that right?
Let's look. Make sure I got that right. Number 3. Bueltel?
Bueltel, thank you. Coons is at first with a battery of Jack Lovin, and the catcher is Schmidt. Again, I'll add some first names to those as we go throughout the game, but that is the Jasper defensive alignment. Jasper coming in at 28-6 on the year, and Andrean coming in at 30-3.
Yeah, when I started that conversation, I wasn't intending to say, Andrean should automatically get to be the home team. I'm just saying in general, the better team with the better record.
But yeah, you did, and we were also talking about, the crowd and the end of the school year and all of that. And again, I think looking at Jasper, a small community, a tight-knit community, from southern Indiana, something like this is a big deal to the entire community, and they're here in force. They're here in mass, where, again, we talk about Andrean being a private school. They don't have that same, sense of town or community where people who may not necessarily know the kids on the baseball team are still here.
Yeah,
and that's what we have from Jasper's side.
That's a good point. And, one thing that we talked about when we talked about Crown Point, you're talking about, you're driving through the square and all of a sudden you see the banners of the kids from that community. That's one of the, that's one of the cool things you get to experience. You may not get to experience that with Andrean, obviously. I'll tell you what, though, last year, 4A state championship, Lake Central, Mooresville. Lake Central had a good crowd, but Mooresville had more. Those small-knit communities, They travel well.
That they do. All right, we are just about set. Blake Cowder, the catcher for Andrean and the leadoff hitter, is getting set to step into the batter's box. And now he's in. Here comes the first pitch from the lefty, Jack Lovin. That's on the inside part of the plate for strike one. We are underway in the Class 3A baseball state championship game.
Well, time called early here. One of the first things that you always have to do, whether you're a batter, pitcher, or whatever, trying to figure out where that zone's going to be. They look to be just a little bit inside. Home plate umpires willing to give a little on the edges potentially.
That one bounced in. Not sure if it slipped out of the pitcher's hand or what, but it bounced in several feet in front of home plate.
That one's not going to the Hall of Fame.
No, not the Hall of Fame. 1-1 the count. Kicking the pitch from the lefty. Upstairs for a ball to Cowder.
Cowder coming in 392 on the year, 4 extra base hits.
Not often you see a catcher lead off.
I was going to start that conversation at some point with you. You don't see the catcher in the leadoff spot too often. Must have some pretty good wheels.
Yep. The Andrean 59ers in their road uniforms. Fly ball right field, deep but slicing foul near the bullpen. That'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Is that 3 and 2, Michael?
That is 3 and 2.
Yep. I'm going to count on your help, Michael. I got a wire right in front of me there, so I will have to move around in order to see the pitch count. Check swing, strike 3. No argument from Cowder. He takes it. Would that be a check swing or a called strike?
I think the umpire went with a called strike 3. It was pretty close. I think they just had some movement on it from Lovin there, and he knew it was a strike immediately. He started walking even after he checked the swing. I don't think it was on the check swing. I think it was on the call.
I'll give you that. Okay, Mason Barth now the shortstop. Another right-handed hitter. Here comes the pitch. It misses for ball 1. A beautiful, beautiful evening in Indianapolis. The first of 2 out here, Friday and Saturday night. Ground ball, foul, third base side. Couts has been defeated. So Northwest Indiana right now looking to get even in this one. And Michael, were you telling me, or I'm not sure where I heard it, but first time in tournament history, 3 teams from one county. There's a line drive smash over the third baseman's head. A base hit for Barth. Michael, he roped that.
Yeah, that was a shot down the left field line. Barth is not without the muscle, that is for sure. He's a bulky kid. He definitely can get it out there. He can definitely monitor one out there for a good hit. And, yeah, it was a note from the IHSAA. Since they reclassified to the classes in 1998, first time that 3 schools from one county have made it down here to Indianapolis, all within a 20-minute drive of each other.
How about that? 2 of them with Valpo mailing addresses, Valpo High School and Boone Grove both. Couts, of course, just, slightly south of Valpo there.
I don't know how many times it's happened, but how many teams from the same conference also make it down? You have Boone Grove and Couts from the Porter County Conference.
That's true. Very true. All right, here we go. No balls, 1 strike, runner at first, 1 out, left-handed hitting Caden Maxwell at the plate.
Jack Lovin will feature a fastball, curveball, changeup mix. That fastball can top out at about 85 miles an hour, according to Prep Baseball.
The left-hander checks the runner who breaks to second. Here's the throw. Bounces in. It's going to be out at second. He may have overslid the bag, Michael. It looked like he got in first. The call was delayed. And then the umpire rung him up.
Yeah,
he beat the ball.
The foot was down. Did he get the foot down, though? Sometimes these guys will slide in, and the foot will slide above the bag on occasion. That may have been what happened to Barth there.
Maybe, but that usually gets called, Michael, in the replay booth.
Right.
A lot of time, that's very hard for an umpire, even in the major leagues, to see. But I believe that must have been what happened because he clearly beat the throw. And no argument, no discussion from Dave Pischker about it.
No, he realized that it was a good throw right on the money. I mean, you're talking about a dime from the catcher right there. That's Schmidt behind the plate. Right to a bullet, right to Brosmer over there.
So Barth is retired, 2-6 in the book. Catcher to short on the putout. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And just like that, the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left. Nobody left, rather. We'll go to the bottom of the first, no score, here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep. Skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
At the conclusion of this game, we will name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero. Crowell Companies have offices open from 9 to 7 Monday through Friday. Tomorrow they'll be open till 2 o'clock at all 3 locations, Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. In addition to that, we'll name the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game. This is not the superhero. That one is kind of easy to figure out. That's your star of the game. The person who maybe had the game-winning hit, or if a guy goes 4 for 4, if a pitcher has 12 strikeouts and no hits the opponent, he might be the superhero. But the blue-collar player of the game, which is sponsored by Boilermakers Local 374, that's the guy who may not be getting the headlights, doing the dirty work, Michael, the little things to take it to help his team win.
You know, I'm told in the classroom I'm not allowed to have favorites, but if I had kind of a favorite award-ish. I love calling the guys out that are doing the right things and being extra perform. But those little intangibles, those little things that get things done that can make you a blue-collar player.
If you want to be a blue-collar player, you can earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. Here we go, bottom of the first. Leading things off, this is Caden Schmidt. Catchers leading off for both teams, Michael.
Yeah, nothing.
I'm going to guess that's a first in a state championship game.
Let's get the research team on it.
2 balls, no strikes. Brandon Brannigan, left-handers, on the mound for Dave Pischker and the 59ers. There's a strike.
Brannigan sporting a 0.72 ERA in 7 game starts this year, 7-0.
Pitch inside, 3-1.
And I'm just using the numbers that they provide us in the program here from the IHSAA.
And Andrean's defensive alignment will come after this pitch. Brannigan with the 3-1. Here's the kick and the fire. That's over. Counts full. Charlie Salas, Paxton Lukic, and Luke Corbin. Corbin are the outfielders left to right. Chase Nelson, Mason Barth, Jet Dutton, and Caden Maxwell are the infielders third to first. There's a ground ball, 1 hopper to third on the grass, picked up, throws over to first in time. It'll be Chase Nelson to Caden Maxwell for the first out of the bottom of the first.
Really nice play by Nelson there. Just kind of a short in-between roller between the mound and the in the grass there and had to really kind of just take his time and make a good throw. Don't want to rush it. We saw some errant throws in the first game. Just keep your head about you. Plays that you made 100 times, make it 100 times more.
Brandon Brannigan and Blake Crowder are the battery mates here today to start the ball game for the 59ers, and that is the Andrean defensive alignment. Now at the plate, this is Braden Geisler, left-handed hitter. I think this is the reason, the number of lefties in the lineup, or the reason that Brannigan got the start is what we were told, or at least that's...
Geisler's .465 batting average this year.
Imagine what he does against righters. I don't think they have that broken down, but could you imagine?
No. 21 extra base hits on the year, though, not too shabby.
Yep.
11 of them are doubles. 8 home runs.
Probably facing right-handers 80 to 90% of the time. Here's the pitch. Fastball over. The count is 2-2.
And if you're a left-handed hitter and you've got power and pop in your bat, this is not a bad field to have it. 362 out to right center.
Yeah, if you can get one in the alleys here with some speed on it like that, that's not going to get quite into the alley, and it's high enough to chase down. Charlie Salas is there for the second out of the inning. But, yeah, Michael, you look at those gaps and you look where the outfielders are playing. If you could shoot one in the right center or left center field gap and it's got some spin on the ball, it's going to roll for a while.
Correct. Yeah, and to give you kind of to paint the picture here for you, the outfielders, they're playing like medium depth. Normally for, Major League outfield, you're playing, I don't know, for a little bit further back, maybe 3/4 of the way back. No, here in high school, they're playing about medium, and that's what they're kind of hard to judge in a lot of ways.
Braxton Brosmer now, right-handed hitter, is up, and the center fielder for Andrean. Lukic, he has been waved back, and he runs back probably a good 15 steps on that, just as we were talking about their sort of medium to shallow depth for those first few at-bats.
Correct.
First couple at-bats anyway. And, yeah, I mean, just again, now the outfielders are adjusting again. So now they're shaded over. They're playing Brosmer to pull. Yep.
427 average on the year. 19 extra base hits. 14 doubles.
Braxton Brosmer, right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch from Brannigan. Brandon Brannigan taking on Braxton Brosmer, and there's ball 4. First base runner of the game for Jasper.
Again, we talk about, trying to figure out, where the strike zones can be. That had to have missed either high or low, because from my vantage point, that looked to be right down the center of the plate.
It did look like it crossed the plate, and we've got a pretty good view from here, a pretty good angle.
Yeah, absolutely. When we talk about the picturesque view, I mean, we are spoiled up here. There's no question.
Yeah, we really this would be if this were a major league stadium, we'd have the best suite in the house.
Well, anytime you're in a suite, anywhere with you, it's the best seat in the house.
Oh, Michael, flattery will get you everywhere. You learned that a long time ago.
That I did, sir.
Here comes the pitch. That's over for a strike. Yeah, I believe in this area here, I don't know how long this has been here. It wasn't always here. We're in the upper deck, the center of the field, behind home plate, and it's an open, I don't know, what would you call this, Michael? It's not a suite
it's
per
like
se.
It's like a deck.
It opens up with a bunch of glass doors. We're outside. There are all kinds of tables down below. Not regular seating, not regular, the club level type stuff. This is like being in a sports bar almost, an outdoor sports bar with the type of seating they have. It's just an absolutely great environment here. Bunch of throws over to first.
Saw that a lot in the first game as well. So when you watch so much major leagues and you come watch high school, you can throw over as many times as you want. There's no pitch clock.
Yep, it can make for some long games, but that's. You think a 7-inning game. A lot of people I know they think they go by quick. I tell them, high school games aren't that quick.
Not as quick
There's
as you
no
would
pitch
think.
clock,
I love this is my favorite sport by far. So when we get to the 7th inning, it's like, okay, I can't handle anymore.
Yep. Yeah, high school does not need to go 9. You get plenty of action in 7 innings. Pitch fouled off.
Unless your team's losing, then you want to keep going in. Yeah,
that's true. But really a beautiful setting. I can't say it enough how privileged we are to be sitting up here and doing what we're doing with this view here. And we thank you guys for listening. If we didn't have you guys, it really wouldn't be worth doing.
That's true. Yeah, the other cool thing with it being a minor league park is there's room out in the outfield, pretty much the entire outfield, for the kids to go out and run in the berm. It's kind of like it's more like a spring training game facility is what it feels like.
Yep, that kind of size, yeah. And, it's not – there's enough of a – you could put a crowd like this in, and it's loud, it's lively. Fouled back out of play overhead. But, yeah, the way this stadium is built and put together, Michael, I mean, it just, again, the acoustics here are great. You don't need 10,000 people to hear the crowd here.
Well, we can distinctly hear it through our crowd, Michael. We can hear the Jasper fans, but we can hear the may not be nearly as many, but they are loud and they are mighty over there from 5959 Broadway.
Yeah, really great acoustics here. Swung on, fouled off. 2-2 to count, rather. But, yeah, just again, if you haven't been down here to Victory Field in a long time or ever, I would suggest if you ever come to Indianapolis for something in the summertime, check the Indians' schedule if you come out here for a game. It really is a lot of fun. I mean, the high school games here are obviously fun. It's a state championship weekend. But the regular season Indians games on any given night of the week or on the weekend are an absolute blast to come to.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Here's the pitch.
And if you're wondering why we're not calling any action, because everything's been throwing over to first. There hasn't been anything to call. 7
or 8 straight throws over there. And that pitch there misses in another full count, 3-2.
And it is really starting to draw the ire of the Jasper faithful over there.
And there's another throw, yep. Now, Michael, what do you think it is? Is it a question of is the pitcher that concerned with the runner? Does he just not want to throw home?
Well, I'm guessing he doesn't want anyone to figure out the timing of what it takes for him to get to home plate. He's trying to mess with all of that. Okay. He's trying to make sure nobody picks up any sense of how long it's going to take him to get from stretch to pitch.
The runner goes on the 3-2 count with 2 out, fouled down the third base line.
But I'm guessing the runner, Brosmer, doesn't care about that. He's going to go no matter what.
Now, that said, we've seen Brannigan go over there multiple times, and he knows the runner's going to break on 3-2. At least he just saw him break on 3-2. As a lefty, do you consider throwing over there? Nope, he doesn't. The runner breaks late on that one. Strike 3 looking. Hulsman goes down. I don't think he liked the call, but we'll take the strikeout. We'll put a backward K in the book. End of 1, no score here on the Region Sports Network. The only game in town.
With 40 years of experience serving Indiana, Illinois, and Tennessee, Ennigenberg Exteriors has only had one goal in mind: to achieve excellent customer service. From commercial and residential roofing to siding, window, and door replacement, Ennigenberg Exteriors delivers 110% customer satisfaction from the first hello to the final walkthrough. Visit Ennigenberg.com for more information, or give them a call at 219-365-2837. Ennigenberg Exteriors, restoring hope one project at a time.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Stay with us after the game as we name the Iron Workers Local 395 Play of the Game, presented by Iron Workers Local 395. To find out how you can become a union iron worker, visit ironworkers395.com. Michael, you know any iron workers?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of it. I'm sure I do.
But that just sounds like somebody that would be tough and cool, doesn't it? A union iron worker.
Yeah.
Union iron worker. If you had a union iron worker in your group of buddies, I'm guessing nobody messes with that dude,
you're not
right?
messing with us at the.
You got a problem? Hey, go see my union iron worker buddy.
Go check that guy.
Yeah, go talk to him. If you want to be one, again, visit Ironworkers Local 395, at least to find out some information. I can tell you this, they pay very well. And if I was a little younger, I'd consider it. I'm too old to be climbing beams at my age. I lost my balance many years ago. All right, Michael, top of the second, no score. We have leading things off.
Going to be Charlie Solars, Stephen Mack, and Luke Gobin.
Okay. Pitch from the lefty. That's inside for a ball. Andrean looking for state championship number 9 in boys baseball. Started back in 2005. Got their first one. Michael, I've been around so long, I was on the call of that one. I believe that was Loeb Stadium. If any Andrean fans are tuned in and you remember that one, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a ball fouled off third base side. But I believe that was at Loeb Stadium in Lafayette before they remodeled.
You got to go there last year, right, for semi-state? Is that last season?
Yeah, yep. I would have went last. I was going to go last week for semi-state for Couts, which was there, but we had the change of schedule due to the rainout on Friday night, so we weren't able to do the early game with Couts. But Loeb Stadium, a great little stadium. You guys ever get a chance?
That's the one with the water park in the backdrop, right? Yeah.
Yep. They've changed it around a little bit, but it's still, the water park is still there, the ballpark is still there, some cool restaurants around the place, and a whole neighborhood right there. Fly ball, center field, straight away. This is Geisler. He reaches up and makes the catch. Solers is retired. That'll bring up Stephen Mack, the designated hitter. Michael, there was a Joe Mack, catcher for Andrean, a while back. You remember that name at all? Or
I do not.
That might be before your time, yeah.
I believe it was.
Just wondering if there's any relation. Again, our Andrean audience, if you can tell us, is Stephen Mack in relation to Joe Mack? I believe it's the same spelling. Joe was, I think, a catcher. Came in for a year or two. I'm trying to think when that was. Been so many Andrean teams, the greatness starts to run into, it's like, which team was he on?
What's what, like, if we were to talk to Coach Pisker, later on, which, every team's going to be different. Every team has a spot in your heart for different reasons. And when you start to get.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Mack is retired.
When you start to get 8, 9, 10, and, even then, it's like, okay, which team was that again?
Yep. Right. I talked to him. He does a great job. I have to ask him. Dave, I was there, and I don't remember. And I don't have 44 years of one team to remember, one school, and he does, and his memory is sharp as a tack, I got to say.
Well, when you are with a team as much as they are, all season long, you bond with these guys. There's no question about it.
Here's the pitch. Fly ball, short center. Geisler, shortstop goes back. It's actually going to be Brosmer in the outfield grass, the shortstop. And a real easy 1-2-3 as Luke Gobin is retired. We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
Welcome back to Victory Field, everybody. Michael Bradner, yours truly, Chris Ramirez, out here with a pair of Zacks, Miller, and Zanelli. A weekend in Indianapolis here. We've got 2 tonight and 2 tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 2A and 4A. It'll be Boone Grove playing in the 2A and Valpo in the 4A. 2 schools with Valpo mailing addresses. Just really an incredible. I mean, what a finish for this spring for the region in Northwest Indiana. You had North Newton and Crown Point winning state championships in softball. Andrean and Hanover both coming up short as runners-up. They were right there. You kind of think about that, Mike. You talk about the 3 Porter County teams, very similar in Lake County for softball, and North Newton sort of right there on the border, right on the river on the other side. So almost a Lake County team in that sense. So really, when you look at what Northwest Indiana did over the past couple of weeks here, pretty impressive.
It's absolutely unbelievable. Just shows you that there is quite a bit of talent up here in Northwest Indiana. I mean, we're getting guys drafted into major leagues. We got professionals all over the place. It's a happening area, and it's just one of those things where it just always seems to, the indie schools always seem to beat our area, or we come up short just in small area or small things here and there. But, to have this feat of rounding out our athletic season like this, absolutely unbelievable.
A team in every class representing Northwest Indiana in the baseball and softball state championship games. Pretty impressive.
And you talk about spring for all their sports, and I can only attest to this because of my bias, but I'll wait after this pitch here.
Fly ball, slicing, foul. Good thing, too.
Lake Central sent a team down to the state championships for boys volleyball this year. That's an incredible thing. Lake Central had their golf team down in state this past week. I'm sure other schools in our area have sent players down for those events, but
here's the 1-2, fouled back out of play.
Now, the region has been on fire lately, making it down to state championships, and maybe none more so than like a team like Crown Point, or a city like Crown Point with all since COVID.
There's a pitch upstairs. This is Max Biatel. Yeah, Crown Point, we're seeing something out of them that is unprecedented in Northwest Indiana. Swung on and missed, strike 3, a high fastball. That'll bring up Ty Coons, the first baseman. Michael, no schools had, that I can recall, the kind of success across the board, number of sports, for the length of time. Even before COVID, they won a softball state title and some other things. I mean, been on fire since COVID, no question, but it even predates that a little bit. So going on close to a decade that this run started, and really no signs of it letting up.
No, absolutely not. And you talk about the success that Andrean has had as well, and it's one of those things. It looks like it's, oh man, you're maintaining this success. It's not easy to do.
There's a pitch inside. Yeah, they say tradition never graduates. I think that's one of Andrean's kind of sayings, and they certainly have a winning tradition. There's a pitch inside. And, they have the ability to reload, and they do it as well as anybody. They have it down. Growing up, Andrean wasn't the powerhouse. When I was growing up, they had some good seasons in different sports, but they were not a traditional every-year powerhouse like they've become. And this is something you really got to look and say the last 20, 25 years, it's really taken things to a different level, especially with football and baseball.
I'll tell you what here, Brannigan throwing some really tough pitches. He is not afraid to go inside here. And he hasn't been successful. It's been all balls, but he's not afraid. I mean, these guys stand right on that line. He's not afraid to go inside and worry about getting close to hitting him.
Here's the 3-2, popped up, first base side, foul territory. First baseman overruns it. It drops in behind him in foul territory for a no play. At least a no play at this point. Now, I think if he gets on base, Michael, I think that becomes an error on the first baseman. Is that, well,
if
I guess he didn't touch it.
If he were to touch it, he overran that.
Correct.
I think he anticipated it keep going out, and then all of a sudden it just stopped right there, and it maybe started to blow back just a little bit. Wind's not too strong. But we've seen a lot of plays over there at first base so far today in general where they've just kind of misplayed it.
Yep. Saw some earlier, correct. Yep, in the first game. Hot smash. Oh, it bounces up past the third baseman. Couple of misplays in that at bat. Boy, if you're Tycoons, you're the luckiest guy in the stadium right now. You made 2 outs and 1 at bat, and you got on base for it.
Yeah, that just made a really wicked hop right past Nelson over there for the single, the 1-out single. But we talked about this at the Open, Chris. Games like this, there isn't much room for error. Yeah, you can make that error, and then you can get a ground ball double play right here to get out of it. But, man, if you start to, things start to spiral a little bit, that's where it starts. It starts with that misplay over at first, then it goes to third, and then what happens from there?
Right.
This is where everybody's got to regather themselves right now and say, okay, let's focus in again.
Yeah, you can't compound your mistakes. You got to cut your losses and get out of it. And that there again, two straight plays. One hitter should be retired. Leadoff man was retired already, so this would be 2 outs, but instead we've got a runner on now and only 1 out, and a fly ball well hit. That's going to go pretty well back. It's over the left fielder's head on the warning track and rolls to the wall. They're going to wave the runner. He's going to score. The play is at third. No, the play is at home, safe at home. It's a stand-up triple and an RBI.
You could just see that momentum building right there. Now I stopped watching the lead runner because I figured, okay, he's going to score quickly at home. Then all of a sudden there's that hesitation at short. Where do you throw it? Looked like the play was at third.
Yep. And
then all of a sudden you throw it home and okay, there is actually, it's not as definitive as you were thinking. That got a lot closer than it should have been probably if you're Jasper.
I'm shocked there was even a throw home and close enough that it was worth the throw home.
It was, yeah.
He was clearly safe. You weren't going to get him out. The throw was going to be late.
It was a lot closer than it should have been.
Absolutely. I thought the play was at third as well. Give Andrean credit for getting the ball in quickly. The left fielder was medium depth straight away. Ball went over his head. He turned and started chasing it, and that ball just kept carrying. And, Mike, I got a feeling there might be a little wind push on that. That ball just kept going.
It was definitely enough in the air where the wind would definitely aid that one a little bit, but that right off the bat, that was a hot shot. The first move for Solars was back immediately and probably got aided a little bit. I agree with you, just to push it a little bit further out of reach, but yeah.
So Jasper draws first blood, 1-0. 1 out, man on third. Goudort the hitter.
They're getting closer and closer to us, Chris. We got to be ready. Did you bring your glove?
I'm going to go barehanded today.
He's got his helmet. He can use that.
Yep. I'm going to go barehanded.
All right. I've just learned I got to protect the equipment. That's
it, yep. We're replaceable. Equipment costs money. There's a pitch upstairs. That misses. 1-1 the count. Andrean's first baseman is in on the grass.
But again, if
he's
you're
looking to play it at home.
But again, if you're Andrean, reset yourself. Keep your mind straight. Okay, it's only 1 run. It's not like it's 10-0 right now.
That pitch is outside. Yeah, if you're Andrean, you don't come down here expecting to win 1-0. You're going to have to score some runs to win the ball game, whether they score first or the other team scores first. So, yeah, what you got to do is minimize your damage here and get out of this inning, hopefully keeping that runner at third. Popped up, foul, left side. That's going to fall into the Jasper crowd.
And the one thing that if you're Coach Pishker, you're telling your team, okay, hey, we bat higher than they do, 362 to 304. We score more runs. We outscore them by 2 runs. We score 9. They score 7. We got this. Let's, keep your head in this.
Yeah,
this is why they're on the revenge tour.
Yep. Yeah, I got to believe Andrean. Getting down 1-0 should not affect them. No, multiple runs, you want to limit that, obviously. But even a 2-run lead shouldn't scare them. Ball 4. I don't know if that hit him or if it would have been ball 4 anyway. So now runners at the corners. We're going to have a walkout from the dugout. This is Dave Pishker coming out.
Yeah, this is a good meeting in my mind. Okay, reset everything, get everyone's mind right. Yeah, you're going to hear the Jasper crowd, but you know what? You can tune that out. If I've learned one thing, being that you can tune things out, it's so easy. But now you've got a guy coming up. This is what I'm telling him here. You got a guy, Nate Lukemeyer, 192 average. Okay, try to induce a ground ball. Try to turn 2, and then we're out of this. It's only a 1-0 game. We're fine.
Yeah, that's the thing where that walk could actually play into the advantage of Andrean if they are able to get that ground ball and turn the double play.
Absolutely.
You couldn't do that without the runner at first. That situation, a lot easier for that runner to score. A lot of different ways for that runner to score. A double play here gets you out of the inning, and that's got to be what Andrean's thinking right now.
So middle infielders are going to play back in their normal spot. Shortstop maybe a tick over to his left a little bit, keeping the runner on at first base. Third baseman even with the bag. It's
a lefty versus lefty matchup. As Michael said, 192 batting average for the number 9 hitter. Throw over to first. Runner back. First baseman looked like he was ready to gun it to third. Don't know if that was necessarily a called play or not.
So you got to have a good trust with your first baseman on this one too, because if this one gets away, all of a sudden,
here's
2-0.
Yeah, here's another thing, Michael. With a left-handed hitter up there, does Jasper run? Not on this one. They bunt actually and do it foul. Wow.
Well, that's what.
And Michael, that wasn't a bunt for a base hit. The batter never moved. He bunted the ball, simply tried to push it out in front of home plate. What were they thinking there? A sack bunt or
probably just a suicide squeeze to try to get that run home for sure, and then book it down first base, see if you can get on base. But definitely just trying to hit it in front so that way that run scores. And there was action in the Andrean bullpen, by the way.
That runner's going to need to get a bigger jump though. Faked over to first, the throw back to third. Runner has to dive back in.
I tell you what, if that first move was to third base, would have gotten him. I mean, I get you have to do that fake to first, but.
Well, I'd like to see Andrean focus here on the hitters. There's been a lot of attention paid to the base runners. A big lead down here at third now. They didn't have that the first time with the bunt. He wasn't that far off. That pitch is outside, unable to bunt it. 1-1 the count. But Andrean definitely focused on the base runners here. With the number 9 hitter, yeah, I'm with you, Michael. Let's induce that double play and get out of this inning. There's a bunt popped up behind the catcher, foul. 1-2.
So unless you have a lot of confidence in this young man, you can kind of suspect the bunt's going to be out of play here.
You would think. I mean, neither one of those bunts were really, all that close to being put into play. And now with 2 strikes, you'd be taking the bat out of his hand, basically, if you had him bunt again.
Now, one of those challenges you talked about as a left-handed thrower here, how easily can you see that runner at third? You want to pay attention to him still. You don't want to.
They got to throw across the diamond.
Yeah, they got to be really careful with this.
Yep, so same thing again. Pitcher Brannigan goes over to first. He's a lefty looking at first from the stretch. First baseman throws across the diamond. The runner at third had a big lead but was able to dive back in safely. But, yeah, Michael, I mean, the odds that they're going to be able to pick that runner off like that. Fly ball, well hit, center field. This should score the run. It will. That ball just kept carrying out to center field. There won't be a play. He can walk home.
And that's fine. That's you wanted the ground ball to turn the double play, but that's the next best thing that you can possibly get if you're going to put the ball into play. Get an out. You are 2 outs now. You have a runner at first base. You have a force at either base that you're going to now. It's fine. 2-0. Again, you score 9 runs a game. This is nothing.
Yeah, the idea is don't let them create a big inning. 2 is not necessarily a big inning. 3 could be considered a big inning in the state championship game. So get out of it before it gets any worse. And with 2 out now and a runner on first, they might be able to do just that here.
I'll tell you what, though, we were kind of talking about, you got to be careful making the throws over, but that gets into Jasper's head a little bit. Okay, they're willing to throw over here. They're not afraid to throw over, and they've been decent throws, okay? Do you push that? Do you try to make them continue to throw and make those kind of plays to see if they throw it away? Or do you try to, we got to be careful here. They are willing to throw, and they could get us.
With a 2-run lead, I'm probably pushing the envelope a little bit.
Well, that's one of the questions I had, we get to your regular season, I see teams, and this isn't just any one, this is plenty of teams, run all over the place. They will steal bags left and right. Then all of a sudden the state tournament happens, no movement. Nobody runs because nobody wants to run into outs. Nobody wants to get thrown out because the catchers are good.
Throw over to first, runner dives back.
I guess I've always learned, I've always heard that philosophy, play how you got here. Don't tense up now, don't play conservatively now, but it happens.
That it does. Here's the pitch. Fouled back to the screen. 1-2 the count. Hey, Zach, you get a chance, zoom in on our local umpires. We got second and third out there, a couple local guys. Let's get them on film here. We are recording the game, guys, in video. We'll have highlights and stuff for you. All 4 games we'll have for you coming up this week with different highlights and stuff. So be sure to check back with us. Fouled out of play right to our, to our left, rather.
Now, do I have this wrong in my book? Are we at the leadoff? We're at the leadoff spot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is actually Jack Levin. It is not Caden Schmidt.
What do we have in our order here?
He was not. He was DH'd for.
Fly ball, right fielder comes on. We'll get that straightened
we'll
out.
figure
Third
that
out of the inning, but 2 runs to score. Andrean's got some catching up as we go to the third. They're down a pair on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With offices in Munster and Cedar Lake, Ethos Dental Group offers a full scope of general and cosmetic dentistry with expertise ranging from porcelain veneers to dental implants, crowns, and bridges. At Ethos Dental Group, you're assured that Dr. Mark Stojkovic and his associates, Dr. Emily Hansen and Dr. Brian Douts, utilize the latest in technology. Check out ethosdentalgroup.com or call 219-595-3432 to schedule an appointment. Ethos Dental Group, dental care you can believe in.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Welcome back to Game Night here on the Region Sports Network. Yeah, I'm checking out the box score here, Chris. It says that Levin has, had the 2 at-bats, and maybe that's Schmidt is next. I'm confused. I'm not going to lie.
I am too. Because,
even the batting order that we received.
Well, what we don't have is a designated hitter assigned.
Okay,
correct?
so here, we didn't look at this. We saw they changed it on here. This is what Jack Levin is leading off, okay?
So Jack Levin has 2 at-bats in the game?
Correct. So Schmidt is actually being DH'd for in that 8 spot. That's what it is.
Oh, Goodort is the DH in the A spot. Okay,
yep.
And he's batting for Schmidt.
Yep.
Got it now. Okay. Not what we had handed to us. And in our defense, when we're at the state finals, we got it made. They just give it to you. You don't have to run down and
right.
chase it. They hand it to you. It's printed out, ready to go with pronunciations and everything else.
Oh, yeah, and that's always a fun part of the broadcast. I tell you, pregame is running down there and asking people stuff, and nobody wants to really talk to you.
Yep. Here it's kind of waiting for. They bring it to us.
They expect it out of the coaches.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's required. Okay, top of the third. This is Jet Dutton. He's the second baseman for Dave Pishker, whose team trails by 2 runs as the evening twilight time sets in down in Indianapolis with the lights on. The sun is shining on the building across the street, reflecting right back at us.
That's what I was wondering. I don't know
how long.
Not a
cloud in the sky.
I know. It's. Talk about beauty.
Yeah, 80 degrees, perfect. Little humidity.
There's a little bit of breeze coming through.
But a south breeze, It's not a gust out of the north that'll chill you down. It's a nice, warm, southerly breeze.
Although
3 balls, 1 strike.
When the air conditioning comes through from the patio area behind us, that gets a little cool, but we'll accept it.
Speaking of the patio area behind us, there's ball 4, by the way. Andrean has the base runner. Dutton is on. We have Indiana's finest, the state police, a number of them here, keeping us safe. And we also have, I imagine they're probably here for the governor. He's the one standing right behind us. He probably needs more security than we do, Michael.
Yeah, he's been walking around a little bit. Commissioner Neidig is over here to our right as well.
Runner at first, nobody out. So
Paxton Lukic.
Yep. Go ahead. You say the name so much better than I do, Michael.
I got you next time.
There's a bunt popped up. Pitcher comes in, makes the play. The runner will have to get back to first. He's not getting the job done there. You got to get that bunt down, not up. Pop up bunt.
Well, this will bring up the third baseman, Chase Nelson, who wants to do a little bit of damage after, coming up with that. I mean, it was a bad hop over at third base. There's nothing he could really do about that one. Just might have found a pebble or just a stray piece of dirt or something here that just bopped up and got past him, and that happens.
Yeah, I would guess. Yeah, I mean, it was that last hop just ricocheted and took off, no question. I think if there's anything he might do again, knowing what happened on that play, it might be to try to get in front of it a little bit, because it did look like he played it to the side, but it was a rocket shot that came through there. And, yeah, whatever happened, that last bounce just was really, too much for anybody. You needed to be Brooks Robinson to make that play.
Now, my question for you, was that an error on the third baseman then?
I gave him a hit.
That's what I did,
too. I didn't
too.
see what the scoreboard did.
Well, our scoreboard has it as an error.
Okay, well, then that would be the official. And I could see it going either way. As the region announcer calling the Andrean game, to me, that wasn't an error. But just the same, making it not an error puts the run on the pitcher.
That's true.
So somebody gets affected either way. Throw over to first, runner has to dive back in safe. Either the third baseman gets the error charged to him, or the pitcher gets the run. So in that case, I could see that, if that play is made, the run doesn't score. Fouled out of play, but all right, we'll change it to an E.
You can, I'm not.
Okay.
Don't let him bully you here in Indianapolis.
My mind, everyone gets away back to the screen. The runner will move up to second base. Andrean now with a runner in scoring position on the pass ball or wild pitch.
I'm going to go with pass ball because
I
think he just missed that one.
Yep. Yeah, he just whiffed.
We were doing those Cal Ripken World Series games. It was definitely noticeable that I was working on, with an analyst that was a pitcher because everything was a pass ball, nothing was a wild pitch. And then when I worked with Griffin Tobias, and when I worked with Drew Arnold, everything was a wild pitch and nothing was a pass ball.
Here comes the 2-2.
And if you couldn't tell from the Jasper fans, that pitch missed for a ball, and they didn't like it.
And the count goes full now. Nelson looking to get that run home from second if he can.
This will be an interesting pitch here. Do you try to challenge him, or do you see if you can get him to swing and miss?
Inside and high, ball 4.
So now you've already got that tying run on first base. Just keep your wits about you as Cowder comes to the plate. We're going to get you some paperweights.
Yeah, these things are blowing around over here. The wind kicking up. All right, top of the order now for the Niners. Let's see if they can make some noise. Blake Crowder, the leadoff hitter and the catcher, with runners at first and second. Only one out.
You were mentioning some of those best hands in the business. Let's see if Crowder's got some of those best hands in the business.
Now would be a good time for it. Andrean with the top of the order here. They've got an opportunity now for a big inning if they can make it happen.
19 RBIs on the year. He's got a runner in scoring position out there. Number 20 doesn't look so bad right now. Long pause on the mound.
Left-hander checks the base. Yep. Now he's going to get called time from home plate.
I'd say these are those little things within the game. The pitcher holds for a while, then as soon as he looks like he's ready, Crowder's going to say, no, I need time now. Just trying to get in each other's heads here. Slightly open stance.
Checks the runner. Here's the 1-1. Up high, 2-1.
Tell you what, though, if he can go the other way, if he can get to the right, there's a huge gap in right center. That's just like daring him to hit it out to that opposite field depth area there. Center fielder's playing more towards left.
Here comes the 2-1, the kick and the pitch. Inside corner. Says the home plate umpire. That evens the count, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, pretty well hit, left center field. Left fielder races back and makes the catch.
Runner's tagging.
The runner from second will tag. Crowder gave that quite a ride, Crowder did. A fly out to left. A line drive shot, he got a lot of that, but the left fielder was able to run it down. Jet Dutton moves up to third. Chase Nelson stays at first. The issue now, Michael, we have 2 out.
And we'll have a meeting on the mound. I tell you what, I just kind of watching the body language over at first base. I don't think the first base coach was thrilled that Nelson is still standing on first base. That was pretty deep, and there should have been back to tag.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Was going to bring it up with the next opportunity because he should have definitely moved up, and if he does, a couple of things happen. You take off a force at second base, and then with 2 out, you've got 2 runners in scoring position off with the crack of the bat. A lot easier to get that run home.
Well, I have no. That play is in front of you as a first base runner, and I'm just talking in general. That play is in front of you as a first base runner. You should be able to see how much you got. If you all of a sudden know that play's coming in, and this is where third base has got to be watching as well. Try to get into a rundown. Try to get that run to score. Even if you get out and you're dead to rights, try to stay in it long enough to let that run score.
As well as the ball was hit, it was obvious from here the left fielder was going to run it down.
Correct.
So the runner at first had to see that as well. He obviously did. He wasn't running. If he thought the ball was going to drop in the gap, he would have taken off. So, yeah, a situation there where I think if Andrean had it to do over again, they'd like to have that runner standing on second. But let's see if they can get around it here. Mason Barth looking to drive in the first run. Inside for a ball. Jet Dutton's at third. Andrean can cut the deficit in half if they get that run home.
We're going to invest in a telestrator and you work and bring that to a broadcast.
How about it? It's technology we don't have. We haven't tapped into yet.
I can see you being the Stacey King of the telestrator of the Region Sports
I don't
Network.
know. I don't know about that. I'd be scribbling all over it. Swung on and missed. My mic go out there, Zach?
I got you.
You got me? Okay. I don't have me. I'm not hearing me. Maybe it's my headset. There we go.
There we go.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 the score. The left-hander, Lovin, with the kick and the pitch. Inside. Evens up, it moves the count to 2-1.
Tell you what,
Jasper crowd, they're up every pitch.
Well, that was close. Knowing Mason Barth, he was not going to move out of that one. He's not afraid to wear one. I have a feeling if he would have gotten hit there, I feel like the home plate umpire would have said, no, you're staying here, young man. He was kind of over the plate on that.
There's a pitch outside. Moves the count to 3-1 now. A real hitter's count for Barth. Throw over to first, the runner back. Here's the pitch. That's up high for a ball 4, and the bases are now full of 59ers.
Let's bring up Caden Maxwell now. Maxwell, 31 RBIs. I'm sorry, RBI on the year. Lefty-lefty matchup. This one should be fun, Chris.
Lovin has walked the bases loaded here in the third. Let's see if Maxwell can make him pay. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Oh, brother.
Yeah, he got eaten up on the inside of that one, hit the inside of his bat, and all of a sudden, Lovin turns into Houdini there for a second, gets out of the jam. But if you're Andrean, you're like, okay, wait a minute. We got guys on base, okay? We're starting to, maybe get that contact a little bit. We've seen him now a second time. Let's go out there and do some work in the next inning.
No runs, no hits, no errors, but 3 men left on base. Let's hope that doesn't haunt the Niners later. We're back after this. Niners trail by 2 here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
If you are injured in a worksite accident or hurt by a defective product, go with the guy that has a proven track record litigating these cases. Otto Schragle, a principal partner at the Allen Law Group, will make sure those responsible for hurting you are held to account for their negligence. With multiple offices in Indiana and Illinois, you could reach them at 219-465-6292 or reach them out on the web at www.kenallenlaw.com.
All right, we return here to Victory Field in downtown Indianapolis. This is the 3A state championship game. Andrean trails at 2-0. Tomorrow night we'll have the 2A and the 4A as the greater Valparaiso metropolitan area is having quite a weekend down here. 3 teams from Porter County, Valpo, Boone Grove, and Couch. 2 of those, Boone Grove and Valpo. The Valpo mailing addresses. And, of course, Andrean's a school that belongs to everybody.
That's true, yeah.
So Valpo very well represented here.
Which is fun for us. We love it.
Absolutely. All right, bottom of the third, 2-0. Andrean trails it after leaving the bases loaded in the top of the third. Now, Michael, we are, okay, so
this is Geisler.
Geisler, our number 2 hitter for Jasper. We found out what was wrong with the lineup. I think we might even have mentioned that last inning, so we'll move on from that.
Whoa, look out.
Woo, look out. Good thing the netting was there behind the dugout. Wow.
That's why everybody brought a mitt back in the day.
A huge crowd on the Jasper side, which is the third base side here. They are from behind home plate all the way down the left field line. Pitch fouled back this way. You can hear it bouncing. And it bounced all the way back downstairs. Hot smash, second baseman has it. Quick throw to first in time.
Whew, what a play over there. Dutton digging and sliding to his left. Right there on the grass, picking that one up, making a good throw. You can tell he's done that once or twice in his career.
Yeah, he made that look easy, didn't he? That's one of those best hands of the business type plays right there that we talk about, which come to you courtesy Bricklayers Local 4. Dave Pishker coming out. He's going to take the ball. How about that? We heard this might happen, and it has. So 2 1/3 innings in,
Well, we said we were mentioning how there was action in the bullpen. It's been Ivan Mostalski, who a lot of people probably would have figured is the one who would have started the game, as he gives a nice hug to Brannigan. And he'll get a standing ovation from the 59er faithful.
So he comes to the dugout, gets a few hugs, and the fans, as you say, Mike, stand and applaud. So we heard that Captain Hook out there would.
Well, that's
see,
a good nickname.
I really thought we would see that in a situation maybe if there was a bit of a crisis out on. I didn't anticipate it happening. One out in the third inning with no runners on.
Well, and especially since it's not like these guys. Normally you want to make your pitching change maybe the second or third, the third time through the lineup. That's kind of where baseball's at this point. But, these guys are only two guys had seen Brannigan twice. Yeah, maybe this is just where he feels not as left top heavy, so he feels pretty good about.
Could be, yep.
That's the thing in Major League Baseball. You look up stats, you can find stats on every split imaginable. Not as readily available at the high school level. That's what get you working on that, breaking down everyone's statistics like that.
Yeah, math was never a class I spent a lot of time in.
Well, we talked about the book that you read in your career.
We did talk about that. I did show up that day. But math, it was one of those things, am I really going to need it later on?
As a...
I could add and subtract. What else do you need?
Fair enough. So a generation of math teachers that are all rolling their eyes at the moment. I don't teach it, so I'm with you.
What do you teach over there, Michael?
Social studies.
Social studies. There you go. A class that never changes.
That's right.
Teach the same thing every year. You don't have to learn anything new. All right, here we go. Bottom of the third. One out. Michael, I'm going to adjust my card here. Who are we putting on the hill?
We got Mostalski.
Big right-hander.
Pretty good numbers coming in. And again, these are the numbers that are in the IHSAA program. So 7 game starts this year, 2 complete games, 5-0 with a 1.74 ERA.
Hot smash, line drive up the middle, base hit. A 1-out single for Brosmer.
Yeah, that was a smash again, right up the middle. Nobody was diving to get that one.
Nope. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors so far for Jasper. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error so far for the Andrean 59ers.
A.J. Holzman up here now.
Good lead over at first.
Mostalski with a long pause.
That's down low for a ball.
We talked about how important it is for these kids to get here, and we talked about our guys out on the base paths as well in terms of the umpires, and all these things means a lot to the coaches, it means a lot to the parents, it means something to the umpires. The umpires have had extraordinary years and careers out wherever they've been traveling all year long. It's an honor for us. Like all these, we're making our bones on, making the great calls off of what these kids do. So,
absolutely. 1-1 pitch on the way. Here it comes. That's over for a strike. Mostalski very deliberate out there, Michael. Taking his time.
Yeah, he's making sure he doesn't get sped up. He's going on his time. He's making sure everything goes his way.
Throw to first.
This is one of those things I talked to coaches before. You have to have a mound presence when you're a pitcher. You got to act like you own this entire diamond when you're in that bump.
Fouled off. 1-2 to count.
That's just one of those things. Like he's gonna, he walks to the back of the mound, behind the mound there. He goes, you're not taking that base. This is my mound. This is my diamond. That's kind of the aura that you're kind of getting from him right now. The presence that he brings.
Looks over at first. Now home. Here comes the pitch. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. He got him to chase. Huseman is retired on strikes.
50th strikeout of the year on that strikeout there.
Viatel now the hitter with 2 out in the inning.
That's the other underrated part of this whole thing with Andrean. We said, keeping your wits end about you. Okay, 2 runs, we're down 2, not a big deal. Then you have all this pitching down with you as well to stop any bleeding that was taking place. And I don't know if there's any math or science to this, but the more you throw over to first base, does it tire out the runner anyway? I would be tired.
I'm thinking no.
I would be tired, but.
Fly ball popped up, actually a foul ball. Going to drift out of play.
I'm just trying to imagine right now, looking up and down the seats here at this venue. Imagine if this, the Indians are in a playoff chase or something, how packed this place is.
Can you imagine? Yeah, how about it? Great stadium here, great location. And the Indians have been a fan favorite down here for decades.
And you walk up and down the press box, and they've got, every suite is dedicated to a former, Hall of Fame type player. Or
Don Zimmer's got his own suite down here named after him. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. Yeah,
sure
really an absolute gem of a facility here, no question about it.
I'm sure at some point somebody will make a suite in your honor somewhere in the region.
Someday long from now. They'll say, hey, you remember that guy Chris Ramirez from way back? Chris Ramirez. No, I don't remember him. What did he do? There's a pitch outside. The count is full now. Runner goes. Here's the pitch. Ball 4.
That break looked like it was good. It was right over the heart. It felt like it had to have just been too low.
So runners at first and second now. There are still 2 out.
So Coons, who ripped that single that got past Nelson, coming up here now.
Andrean wants to get out of this predicament here with no more runs scoring. As good of an offensive team as they are, you don't want to get down too many runs halfway through a state championship game, especially as the visiting team. That pitch misses.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that front. Yeah, you want to try to get out of this inning as quickly as possible here. Definitely not letting any more runs score here.
I want to say hi to Josh Cavalcante, who's listening back in the region. Thanks for touching base with us, Josh.
Appreciate the kind words.
Absolutely. We like to read those. In between all the complaints that we get, we like to pass along those every once in a while.
I think by the time I have a chance to go look at those, you guys have already filtered mine out.
The compliments or complaints?
The complaints.
Oh. We don't have that much time, Michael. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on, 2 out. Here we go. Fastball that misses down low and outside, 2-1 the count.
Yeah, one of those situations, you don't want to groove one because this guy clearly can rock it. But you want to challenge him a little bit.
Yeah, we are in the middle of the order. This is the number 5 hitter. A high hopper to second. Dutton covers a lot of ground. Makes the play, throws to first in time to get the Niners out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 guys left on base. We will move now to the top of the 4th. Andrean trails at 2-0 here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
And we return now to Victory Field. As we move to the 4th inning.
Tell you what, Chris, we talked about both these coaches and their historic runs with their team. Pishker in his 44th year in charge of the team is attempting to win his state record-tying 9th championship, which would tie Lafayette Central Catholic's Tim Bordenet. Pishker, a 1971 Andrean grad himself, so this program means a lot to him.
And here's a little something most people don't know. In 1971, when Dave Pishker was graduating from Andrean, I was living 2 blocks away from him on Polk Street in Glen Park.
Oh, there you go.
How about that, huh?
There you go.
We didn't find that out at the time. We didn't find out until later. But Dave and I come from the same neighborhood. He was, I believe it was 41st and Pierce or 40th and Pierce. I was at 40th and Polk Street. The good old Glen Park neighborhood in the 1970s. All right, Michael. Andrean needs to get a rally going. First pitch. Not going to get the rally going with this. A pop-up to short on the first pitch. And the out is made. Let me get my book turned over. That was Charles Saulers, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Pop up to the shortstop, and now Stephen Mack, left-handed hitting designated hitter. I know we've talked about Andrean and what a great offense they have. At some point here, Michael, they got to get it in gear.
It's got to get locked in here. It was the same thing with Cal. It's a good, prolific offense, but just nothing doing. Dominant pitching performance.
Ground ball, base hit up the middle, past the second baseman for Mack. That's the way to get it going.
That's called the reverse announcer's jinx right there, Mr. Ramirez.
Hey, it worked that time. We'll take it. Now we have Dave Pishker coming to have a word with a home plate umpire, and looks like he's got a roster or scorecard in his hand, so he's making some sort of change. The base runner.
We're going to have a courtesy runner maybe?
Looks that way.
Looks like number 10 out there. Liam Dick. Liam DeCurve.
1 out and 1 on. Let's see if Andrean now can dent this 2-run lead. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball.
Luke Gobin, the hitter here.
Another left-hander for Andrean in the lineup. Nightfall just about to kick in down in Indianapolis here.
Going to continue to leave that right center gap in the outfield, even for a left-handed hitter here.
Down low, 2-1. Yeah, a huge. It's good. I'm glad you pointed that out, Michael. The right fielder is not that far from the right field line. The center fielder, meanwhile, is on the other side, the left field side of second base. Not only that, Michael, in left and center, extremely shallow and pretty deep in right field.
Yeah, 362, I believe it is down there, right into the right center.
But you look at where that right fielder is. He is deep.
Yeah.
And way deeper. He's 50 feet deeper than the center fielder.
That's maybe their strategy. He maybe covers a little bit more ground, and their center fielder needs to cover more ground towards the left, potentially. He's able to cover that ground and close that off a little bit quicker, maybe.
It's not your everyday outfield alignment that you're looking at there.
It is definitely a no doubles alignment out there and right. There's no question about that.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And now we move to Dutton. He reached last inning with a walk, got as far as third base before being stranded.
Yeah, center fielder still moving to that shortstop side of the bag.
There's a bunt popped up the third base line, and lucky for Andrean, it falls foul as the third baseman was charging on that.
I'll tell you what, though, if all those guys decided to dive for it, we would have had some injury delay time. No question. I mean, you had the pitcher, you had the catcher, and the third baseman all converging on that at one point.
And luckily for the Niners, it dropped in right between them. High and outside. The left-hander, Lovin, with the pitch. At the knees for a strike. Dutton down in the count now, 1-2.
Yeah, he was expecting something else there because he took that right down the heart of the plate.
Yep. Had to step out and regroup. Kicking the pitch. Oh, strike 3 looking. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors. And there was a runner left on base. We're going to go to the bottom of the fourth now. It's 2-0 Jasper here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
The Athletic Performance Factory is Northwest Indiana's premier athletic training center. The 40,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility features batting cages, a sand training room, a new outdoor turf infield, and so much more. Check out the facility for one of their daily classes at 3150 45th Street in Highland. Interested in signing up for team workouts or individual lessons? Check out their website at trainapf.com or contact them at 219-750-1087. Athletic Performance Factory, where athletes are made.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Welcome back to Victory Field. We move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Andrean trails it 2-0 in this one. The Niners have had one mini threat in the ball game, but as of yet, their offense has not kicked it into gear. And Michael, in high school baseball, the late part of the game, you kind of skip over the middle part of the game in high school baseball. It goes from early to late real quick.
Yeah.
So if Andrean's going to get back in this, they need to make something happen quick.
Yeah, it needs to happen immediately in that next inning and, get out of this inning 1, 2, 3. Keep no momentum for Jasper whatsoever. Then you got to just keep getting guys on base. Already 4 guys left on base for the 59ers. And we were talking about Pishker a little bit for Gobbert. He ranks tied 4th in state history with 6 baseball state championships. And if he were to win a 7th here today, he would tie LaPorte's Ken Schreiber for 3rd all-time.
Ken Schreiber, kind of the Don Howell of baseball coaches in Northwest Indiana. A powerhouse program at LaPorte on a level that nobody could even relate to back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. He was so far ahead of everybody else.
We talked about a field, this field having the phenomenal backdrop behind the outfield. Man, LaPorte's Schreiber Field, another gorgeous field to take in a ball game at.
Yep, yeah. I mean, nothing's going to match this backdrop here, but what you get at LaPorte is a special feeling about high school baseball when you get there, a feeling you don't have anywhere else.
That is a high school history type of feel, no question.
Yep, yeah, it is a really cool place and a whole different vibe. All right, leading things off as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Coons, Mike? Is that who you got here, Michael?
This is Jet Springer here.
Oh, Springer. Okay, I'm a batter off then. That typically happens at some point.
I am discovering that as we get really exciting play to end it, I forget to complete my book.
That's what happens all the time to me.
I'm fouled back 1 and 2. I went back and I looked at some of the ones, and this is the same book I was using for the state championship games last year. I never even finished that LC game. I never put in that final walk to score the winning run for.
How about that? The most important one. Fly ball, center field.
Lukiak coming in, making that catch.
1 down in the inning.
I'll have to get you invested in this book here. You're throwing papers out there with defensive. It's all right here.
I like what you got there. I haven't seen one of those yet. Is that something you made yourself? Or
No.
what?
It's the Nationals broadcaster. His name's Bob Carpenter.
How about that?
Yeah. And I am literally at the last page. This is the last game I can do in this book.
I'll have to check with my friends over at Blythe Sporting Goods to see if they can get me something like that.
There you go.
No balls, 1 strike. The designated hitter, Jack Goodort, who walked in the 2nd inning, is the hitter.
I was going to ask you, how many state championship games have you called in your illustrious career?
Whoa, fly ball, left field. Line drive shot. Left fielder goes back. That's Salas. He makes the catch. 2 out in the inning.
Boy, Sellers was there just in time. He was there. He was camped. No question it was going to get caught. But talk about a guy in Gudorf that just hit it. He hit it so well, but he hit it right. He hit it too well. Hit it right at the defender.
Yep. Yeah. That was a rope. But it did land. The left fielder barely had to move on that. So 2 out in the inning now. That'll bring up Luke Meyer. He fouls it back.
And people would think, like, oh, man, I hit into a, I hear so many kids like, oh, I hit into a line out like that. Yeah, but you had hard contact. That thing was hit hard. So, you're going up there thinking next time I'm going up to the pitcher and thinking, okay, I can hit you hard.
Fastball over for strike 2.
It's kind of that new mentality in baseball right now is, kids used to get down about hitting it, hitting into an out, but it's like, okay, no, now, I hit that one on the screws. I'm good. I'm getting locked in at that point.
Yeah, I think that's a lot more important in the game now. It's not what you do in your 4 at-bats. It's how well you do in the 1 at-bat where you have success. Players now, you don't see guys in the major leagues looking to hit 330 anymore. There's a pitch looked at for strike 3. The inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We're moving to the 5th. Andrean's got to get something going. Let's see if they can do it here. We're back after this on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Better Beef of Indiana. Hormone-free, locally raised, and locally processed beef. Better Beef of Indiana is located in Valpo at 2600 Beach Street, where you could buy individual cuts of beef completely raised in Hebron. From single pounds of ground beef to filet mignon, Better Beef of Indiana has it all. Visit their website at betterbeefindiana.com. Follow them on Facebook or call the owner, Kevin, directly at 219-508-5797. Better Beef of Indiana, where quality meets value.
All right, welcome back to downtown Indianapolis, Victory Field, site of the 4 baseball state championship games for the state of Indiana. Second one going on right now. It's Class 3A between Andrean and Jasper. Our Niners right now trail by a pair in this one, 2-0, as we move to the 5th inning. Who we have coming up here for the Niners,
We got
Mike?
the 8-9-1 hitters, so you got Lukiak, Nelson, and then back to the top of the lineup with Cowder.
All right, so you got your 8-9 hitters coming up. You need one of these two guys to get on base. Preferably your 8 hitter gets on, your 9 moves them over. You get your 1, 2, and 3 come up, get an inning going, maybe get a couple of runs.
Just as easy as that, right?
That's it. Yep, baseball 101 right there, Michael.
I don't know how you were not coaching somewhere.
You got to wonder. You'd think just listening somebody would find me and realize he doesn't know what he's talking
Sign
about.
him. Sign him now.
Andrean's only down 2. It's not like they need a big inning, but they got to get something going. And really, I mean, you get one run, that's really putting the pressure on them. You know what I mean? You've got to get something. So chip away at the lead. You don't necessarily need to get it all back at once.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got, 3 innings to work with here. But like you said, all of a sudden it gets late fast.
Yep, it does get late. There's only 7 innings, so that middle of the game is real short, real quick. And then as the visiting team in the game, trailing, the game gets shorter.
Correct.
So Andrean has to do something here. Hopefully they'll get it started in this inning. Swung on and missed. They come out aggressive.
Caden Maxwell is warming up in the Andrean bullpen, by the way.
Charlie Solers is the hitter. He's got a 1-1 count.
Matthew Kulik is the guy out there protecting him, making sure he doesn't get hit. Yeah, one of the few places where the bullpens are right here on the field as well. In the foul territory, of course. Do you miss that at Wrigley? Bullpens down the sidelines?
Yes, I do. Of all the changes to the ballpark, I think that's the one I dislike the most. There's a pitch inside corner, I should say.
I said these hitters have to adjust to this because clearly the umpire is giving them a little in and off the plate, just a smidge, enough where you might have a good feel of that strike zone. You see strike 3 there. You might have a feel of the strike zone, but at the same time, if the umpire is expanding it just a little bit, and it's been consistent, that's all we can ask for. It's been consistently called that way both ways.
Yep, we've seen it the whole game, no question.
Chris, that is 3 strikeouts in a row for Lovett.
So things not going the way the Andrean offense was hoping. We were thinking maybe they'd get heated up here in the 5th, but that's yet to happen as Max steps in and he takes strike 1.
So Lovett's starting to feel a groove here. Definitely,
yep.
This is where if you have a guy that, if you're in the lineup here, bunt, make him get off the mound, throw him off a little bit.
Fouled out of play down the left field line.
Get him off his rhythm. Step out, do something. Don't let him get into too much of a rhythm here.
Yeah, it's almost like he could start to smell the victory out there, 9 outs away, 8 outs away now. Long fly ball, deep, out of play, left side.
Nelson is just tardy on some of these, so getting him off to the left side. If he can catch up, he'll get a nice frozen rope out to right center. Takes that one high. Nelson walked his last time up. Wouldn't mind doing that again or getting an extra base knock here. I tell you what, I love these officials out here today, Chris. These guys are a little animated with some of their calls. They appealed down to third, and Mr. Fott just jumped into it, gave a very hearty safe on the check swing. Well, yeah, see, I like this here. Step off. Don't let him get into a rhythm. Make him, not make him uncomfortable, but just, in the sense where his pattern is thrown off a little bit.
You mentioned Craig down at third. They don't get a lot of calls down there. So when they do get to jump in, they got a bunch of pent-up energy they got to release.
Well, that's why, the third. That's why they do the rotation of home plate, then third.
Yep. Third base is kind of the day off for the most part.
Unless you had a really bad day behind the plate, then they want to torture you even more. So you're hoping you got home plate on the travel day.
What a thrill and an honor it has to be for the umpires.
That's what I was alluding to earlier. These guys do work all season long. This is a huge honor, just like the players out here.
Fouled out of play.
What a battle here for
way.
Nelson. Yep. Loving this. He's just fouling everything off. We don't have a radar gun up here, but I'm guessing there's mixing some speeds up here on Nelson.
Top of the order to follow. Dave Pischker would love nothing more than to see a base runner on when Cowder comes to the plate, but that's not going to happen as Nelson is retired on strikes. And now Cowder will come to the plate.
Yeah, 4 strikeouts in a row, 71 pitches at this point.
He's rolling.
And, you don't have to worry. You're not worried about how many days rest because this is it.
Yeah, and at 71 pitches, you don't have to worry about the pitch count. He's going to be able to go to the distance, it looks like, unless Andrean can knock him out.
Well, and that's, take quality at bats like Nelson. You got to be worried. Those are what you should have been doing from the very beginning. And I'm not saying they weren't working good at bats, but you got to, work really good at bats, lengthy pitches for your at bat. But I like this too.
Could beat it out up the third base line. The throw. Wait a minute. What are they saying?
They're calling foul.
They're saying it hit him in the batter's box. Oh, my. Dave Pischker's not coming down to discuss it with the home plate umpire.
Yeah, I think it was the first base umpire that called it first. Actually, it's the Jasper manager coming out here.
One has to wonder about that. Did I miss something, Mike?
I didn't. They just called a foul. I don't know if it hit off. Yeah,
but what would be the need for the Jasper coach to come out? Wouldn't that be Dave Pischker coming down to say, hey?
Yeah, maybe there was something. Was it unfair? Should he be out for interfering with the ball?
That could be. Yep, I think you're right, Michael. But if it happened in the batter's box,
well, that's where he's
Yep, but that's probably what he's checking.
Give me a clarifying answer on that.
So Andrean just not getting the breaks tonight, Michael.
We talked about that at the very open. Things got to go your way.
And they could have a base runner on right now. Instead, it's a ground ball to third. Throw across the diamond, and we've got a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We're going to the bottom of the fifth. Andrean trails by 2 on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
We move now to the bottom of the fifth inning, the Class 3A state championship baseball game between Andrean and Jasper. The local team which is the Andrean 59ers for us. They trail by 2 runs in this game. Those 2 runs came in the second inning. And to this point, they've held up. All right, bottom of the 5th, leading things off.
We are back to the top of the lineup.
So that would be the pitcher then, correct?
Correct.
That's Lovin. Spelled like Levin, but according to the pronunciations that we got, it is pronounced Lovin, as you said, correct, Michael?
That's what I got here.
1 ball, 1 strike. This Lovin kid making a bid for a post-game award. There's a foul ball in front of the Jasper dugout, and it drops between the Andrean shortstop and the Andrean third baseman.
I think that wind is causing a little bit more havoc than we realize, because these guys are starting to get underneath it, and all of a sudden they're tailing in different directions, and they're just getting turned around.
Yeah,
and you know what?
We'll assume that's what it is. I mean, that's just something you don't expect to see out of an Andrean team.
Well, and
we've seen it twice.
I'm gonna, something else to keep in mind as well. Do the lights affect you in something like that? These lights that are around the ballpark, I don't.
That could be. I didn't get that impression on either one of those 2 foul balls that have dropped in that it was a lights issue. Foul ball down the left field line by the bullpen. But either way, it's something, because they are misplaying them, and these kids know how to catch a pop-up on the infield.
Trying to help them any way I can.
So, yeah, I'm agreeing with it. My guess would be maybe it is the wind, possibly the lights, fouled back to the screen. But whatever it is,
you got to adjust.
I would think Dave Pischker expects those plays to be made. I would expect the kids on the field expect those plays to be made, don't you?
100%. 100%.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled out of play again. Last time we saw a foul ball drop in like that with no play on it, Michael.
Shh, don't jinx it.
It ended up leading to a run.
Ooh.
Well, there's nobody on base now. Swung on and missed, so we won't have the same outcome this time.
So you Andrean fans, you can call Chris Ramirez at 219. Drop the phone number out there.
Yeah, let me look up your number and give it out to him, Michael. You can field those for me as my right-hand man.
Yeah.
1 out in the inning.
When's DeJuan getting back from vacation? We'll give it to him.
Is he on vacation?
Oh, I don't even know.
No.
He was gone.
I gave him a layoff slip a week ago.
Yeah. Got to change the credits on here. The new sports director, Zach Miller, over there.
That's it. No balls, 2 strikes to Geisler. That's upstairs for a ball.
Yeah, kudos to Zach Miller, Zach Zanelli, working back-to-back doubleheader days.
There's a pitch upstairs, 2-2. Yeah, Zach Zanelli's getting video footage for us. So we'll have some highlights coming up. There's a pitch outside. I believe we've also got, is it Charles Backus downstairs also?
Chris Backus.
Chris Backus is down there doing some photography and video. I believe he's at the dugout level. Popped up.
This will get out of play.
He's going to get, left side. Land in the upper deck.
And you got the call tomorrow, the Valpo game.
Yeah, Valpo been on a roll, in historic roll. I was shocked when I did their regional to find out they had never won a regional. I think most people were shocked to find that out. But having never won a regional, then they obviously had never won a semi-state.
Well, just think about the sectional they've been in for the last couple of years. I mean, between them and Chesterton and Crown Point, that sectional 2 is always a gauntlet.
Yeah, and you look back, you go back, to the 70s, 80s, and 90s in that regional.
Yeah.
And that was LaPorte. That was the LaPorte regional.
Correct.
And usually LaPorte got out of there. So, but I was thinking, first thing I thought, it was really even in the Tim Bishop era, which was, if you remember when Bryce Drew played basketball at Valparaiso High School, Tim Bishop was a basketball player on that same team, so it was the same era. Tim was a great baseball player, drafted by the Mets. The Times now has the Tim Bishop Athlete of the Year award. Fly ball, left center. Center fielder running, and makes the catch.
Lukic.
Yeah, Paxton Lukic with a long run. Looked like Pete Crow Armstrong. He covered so much area on that.
That's a comp.
A long run.
Well, earlier in the afternoon, definitely saw something like that where it should have been caught. There's no reason that ball shouldn't have been caught. Guys should be at full speed. But then when guys start calling each other off, saying, I got it, then all of a sudden it lays in between you. Those are little things. If you cut that off and you say, no, you're the center fielder, you're taking that ball, and you're grabbing that thing.
Yeah, and that's what you want out of your center fielder. Take charge.
Braxton Bosmer now here takes the first pitch for a strike, and that's a generous call.
I mean, as a center fielder, if you think you can get it, you got to call off anybody else,
no
whether
question.
The left fielder's calling for it or not.
Yeah.
You got to tell him, nope, I got it. And I think that's kind of what we saw on that play. He ran after that. He was in control all the way on that play. There's another one towards them. Center field comes on, makes a nice running catch on this one as well. A couple of back-to-back sharp defensive plays by the center fielder, Lukic. We're going to the 6th inning. Andrean still trails 2-0 here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With 40 years of experience serving Indiana, Illinois, and Tennessee, Ennigenberg Exteriors has only had one goal in mind: to achieve excellent customer service. From commercial and residential roofing to siding, window, and door replacement, Ennigenberg Exteriors delivers 110% customer satisfaction from the first hello to the final walkthrough. Visit Ennigenberg.com for more information, or give them a call at 219-365-2837. Ennigenberg Exteriors, restoring hope one project at a time.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com, or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
All right, Michael, we are in the 6th inning. We talked a little while ago that it gets late quick, and this is an example of that. Already the 6th inning, Andrean trails by 2 runs. And, it's not going to hurt it's not going to hurt our feelings if they get something going in this inning.
Absolutely not.
Maybe they want to be dramatic and wait to the 7th. I don't know, but I'd be all for them at least getting a run across and denting this lead here in the 6th inning.
Dramatics are always fun, but heart palpitations are not. Barth, Maxwell, and Solar is your scheduled hitters here in the 6th inning. So kind of got your meat of your order right here. Yep. So
2, 3, and 4. If you're going to do it,
got to get going here.
These guys got to get it done.
And this is the 3rd time through the lineup.
So that means the hitters have had a good look at the pitcher. Well, if you're taking pitches, you are. I know there's been a few first pitch contact made here. There's a line drive into center. Could go over the center fielder's head. No! He reaches up and makes the catch. Geisler robbing Barth on that one. Hit it on the nose, Michael, right at him. The toughest play for an outfielder to make, and the kid adjusted.
The Notre Dame commit has no luck on that one. Talk about Geisler just sticking an arm up in the air.
Yep.
you know, it wasn't Willie Mays style, but he just stuck the arm up in the air hoping to come up with some gold, and he found the baseball.
Yeah, he struck it rich on that. He found gold for sure. That was really, I mean, like you said, he stuck his arm up. The ball was hit over his head. He ran back.
Yeah, for his first step, I mean, he didn't move at first.
Yep.
He was waiting to read. He got a late break on it, and then.
Well, as they say, those ones hit right directly at an outfielder are the hardest ones for them to judge, and that's what this is. That play was directly at him, so he had to kind of figure it out. And when he did, he backpedaled and turned and ran and somehow managed to make the catch. Otherwise, I think that's a triple, Mike.
Very likely with the speed of Mason.
It's going to the center field wall, and that's
no.
going to the deepest part of the ballpark. So it's a minimum double, possible triple to start the inning. But Andrean, another time they don't get the break here. Swung on and missed.
Yeah, because it was going to two-hop the wall probably, where it would have just hit that padding out there and would have just died on the warning track. So,
yeah, it was a line drive smash, so it had some zip on it. But it was not meant to be. Ground ball, all right, past the first baseman, into the hole between first and second for a one-out single.
That's how it starts.
Maxwell. And that'll bring up Charlie Solers.
These 0 for 2s need to change to 1 for 3.
He's the cleanup hitter.
Let's go.
You're down a deuce, Michael. 6th inning of the state championship game. Your cleanup hitter comes up in this situation. I imagine he's looking for a pitch he can drive here.
You know, that wall out there in left center, 418 out there. Let's give it a ride out in that direction.
There's a pitch over for a strike. Do we have any home run numbers?
Yeah, they are all in the program.
Can we see if that's a possibility here?
Does have 1 homer on the year, 8 extra base hits, but 36 RBIs coming into this one today.
That's a lot of RBIs for 1 home run. It is.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So he obviously can put the ball in play with runners on base. Well, he's only got one strike left in this at bat, as there's a pitch over the inside corner. And he's down 1-2 now in this at bat. Come on, Charlie. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Base hit into right past the first baseman. We've got a runner moving to third now. Maxwell. Runners at the corners with 1 out. That's a base hit for Charlie Solers. Yeah, that's the Andrean crowd you can hear now making some noise.
I'll tell you what, that extra base for Maxwell, taking third base, that could be huge. Because it could be easy, he just drops anchor at second base. Okay, single, here, I just move, into the next base. No, I'm digging in, I'm taking this next base. Even if you get a sacrifice fly, that puts that dent you were talking about, puts you 1 run closer. Do you manufacture it? Obviously, you're looking to drive something here, and we may have a pitching change. I haven't seen anybody warming up in the Jasper bullpen, so it may not be a pitching changer other than just having a conversation on here. Hey, first time you're really in some big jeopardy here, runners on the corners. Well, I guess we did have bases loaded earlier, but calming the heart rhythm down a little bit, the heartbeat.
Yep. Maybe talking a little strategy out there.
Because here's the thing, we keep talking about how it's late for Andrean. Well, now it's late for Jasper to make mistakes. Now you can't, if you make mistakes and you start giving up runs, now it's too late to try to bounce back yourself.
Well, yeah, and at some point, Andrean down in the game with no base runners and nothing happening, the pressure is on them.
Yeah.
Now you get a bit of a rally going, and suddenly you might be able to turn that pressure around, kick in, not start, chipping away at this lead, get that runner home from third, get that runner from first over to third, and now suddenly you get in the heads of the other team.
Well, this is another thing, too. You're expecting your pitcher to go deep here. 86 pitches. Is the arm getting tired? No signs of that, really, but, that's probably one of the things he went out there and asked. Hey, how's your arm feeling?
Well, yeah, and Michael, I think that last play, if there's not a runner on first base, that's a routine ground ball. The first baseman is holding the runner on.
Yeah, that's a good
point. If he's not doing that, it's a routine ground ball to him.
Yeah, no question.
So it wasn't like it was a scalded line drive or something. It was a well-hit ball that would have been played under other circumstances. But either way, Andrean got on safely because of it. Runners at the corners. Stephen Mack, the hitter. 1-1 the count.
Mack, 19 RBIs on the year, 4 doubles. Number 5 would look good right here.
Yes, it would. Big gap out there in left center. Pretty well hit ball into right field. It's dropping. Right fielder comes on. We're going to have a throw home. It's cut off. The run scores from third. 2-1 now.
See, that's right there, Chris. That obviously you want something, a little bit better. You want to hit to keep the runners moving, but the sacrifice fly. Now you've cut the deficit in half. Taking third base, that was huge from Maxwell.
Yep. And I will say this, it was almost, it felt like, when that ball left the bat, it seemed to be well hit, but it didn't carry. It actually came up a lot shorter. I thought for a chance
it definitely
there.
It died up there.
Yep.
Yeah, no question. Because I was thinking, like, oh, man, this might be bouncing toward the wall, but right off the bat, and then all of a sudden it just kind of got up above the ballpark, and it just slowed down.
All right, here's the situation. 2 out in the inning. Runner on first. That's Charlie Solers. Luke Gobin, the hitter. Andrean trails by a run. Top of the 6th. There's a pitch over for a strike.
6 extra base hits on the year, 21 driven in. Again, right center, huge gap for a left-handed hitter here.
Woo, took something off of that one.
Yeah, he was looking
Swung
to do
on
some.
And missed, yep.
If he had made contact, that thing's going a ways.
Now it's an 0-2 count. Both teams' fans are standing making noise. Key part in the ball game here. Throw over to first or runner back. Here's the pitch. Fouled out of play.
Well, we said, Chris, this might be the most competitive game of the whole weekend. Might be the most entertaining. It is living up to that bill so far.
That it is. Been a very exciting ball game, considering the fact that there hasn't been a ton of action.
Correct.
No balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Lovin. Check swing foul.
Yeah, I think he foul tipped it, and it couldn't stay in the mitt of Schmidt. Just got enough of it there. Kind of a delayed call from the home plate umpire. But you heard this place got quiet instantly. What was that?
Yeah. All right, here we go. 0-2 the count. Runner goes. Pitch on the outside is a ball. There will be no throw. Soler steals second base.
Interesting call in that situation. I like it. I like the aggressiveness. Still got that big gap in right center. If you can get one out there, this ball game is tied.
Yep, an RBI opportunity here. 1-2 the count. Solers at second. Fouled out of play left side.
Gobin putting up a really good at-bat here. Typically, the longer the at-bats go, the more they favor the hitters.
That is very true. All right, here we go. Lovin has the sign, checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Woo! Just outside for a ball.
Oh, man, and
the Jasper crowd up on their feet for that one. They wanted a strike, and it was close.
And I'm watching the Jasper coaches. They were going bananas. They thought they had it.
The count's even now, 2-2. Runner at second. 2-1 our score. 2 out in the inning. Here we go. Ground ball, base hit into right field. Pishker's going to send the runner. We're going to have a throw home. It's cut off. The ball game is tied. The ball game is tied. Luke Gobin with a big hit and an RBI to tie it up.
Chris, we said the longer the at-bat went, they typically favor the hitters. He was timing him up well. He kept just fouling him off, just behind. timed that one up well. We said how much of a space there was on that right side. That applied to first base as well, right through that gap between the second and first baseman. This game is tied at 2, and it's not. The inning isn't over.
No, it is not. Joe Dutton is the hitter. Runner at first. That's the lead runner. Pitch outside. Nobody up in the pen for Jasper, so they're either going with Lovin all the way or they've got somebody else on the diamond that they'll bring in for relief. But at this point, I'm thinking it's Lovin's ball game.
Yeah, at this point.
Who are you going to go to at this point? Right.
And, he's got to keep his wits about him as well. He's got to try to, he's just given up the 2 runs here this inning. Here he's been cruising. Now all of a sudden.
Yeah, and most of them, Michael, are ground balls. It's not, It's not like they're hitting them all over the diamond on him.
Yeah, this is all after the hardest hit ball the whole inning was that rocket off the bat of Mason Barth.
Yep, the out, correct. Boy, and if that play isn't made, imagine what kind of an inning we're having now for Andrean.
That last hit would have been for the lead, no question.
Yeah, and we'd be sitting on 1 out right now with a big inning going. But as it is, that play was made, so there are 2 out. Throw over to first, runner back. Boy, tied up 2-2 late in the ball game.
I tell you what, you can hear like the air has been sucked out of the building a little bit here. The Jasper crowd sitting after they were all standing and cheering, and all of a sudden the Andrean fans are up standing and cheering on their ball club.
And that's kind of what we talked about. The pressure and the momentum of the game, the way it's going. You brought it up. Andrean coming back late in this situation sort of changes the whole vibe of the game. Jasper goes from feeling good and confident and like they're in control to all of a sudden now, you get nervous.
Yeah, because there's not, later and later, we're late. This is, top of the 6th right now. They're going to have the last at-bats no matter what. So.
But Andrean has stole the momentum right now.
And again, talk about third time through the rotation. They're starting to time them up a little bit better. They've seen the pitches. They know the movement at this point.
And the middle of the order for Andrean here in this inning.
We said if it wasn't this inning, it wasn't going to happen probably because this is your
These guys got to come through, and they have. Now let's see who else can come through for Andrean because the game ain't over.
No.
Matter of fact, it's only tied. So Andrean still needs to find a way to take the lead. Ball 4. Gobin moves to second. Dutton with a good at bat there. He takes first base, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Paxton Lukic.
And both these teams have gotten their 2 runs in kind of different ways. Andrean hasn't taken advantage of mistakes. Unless you're talking about pitching mistakes. There weren't mistakes on in the outfield or in the infield or anything like that. Jasper capitalized on an Andrean mistake.
Yep. Yes, they did. Yep.
And now Andrean has kind of countered that.
And we are going to have
got a pitching change here. Lovin is out. I think we're going to get a mitt change here. I'm waiting to see who the new pitcher. I'm waiting for him to turn so I can see the number. And number 24, so that's Coons.
Coons, a big right-handed pitcher. And he's playing first base, I believe. Is that right?
He was.
Yep. So he goes from first to pitch, and that's kind of what we thought. With nobody warming up in the bullpen, there's likely going to be a position player coming in, and that's what happened. Do we know where Lovin has gone or who's gone to first?
Well, Drake Hagan has gone to first. Because he wears number 19, and that's who's out there. Got to wait for guys to turn around here. 13 is still at short.
$19, is that 19 at first base, Michael?
Yes, that's Hagan.
Okay. Hagan, I don't have Hagan come in off the bench?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So is Lovin on the bench then?
Well, that's what I'm trying to see because the second base and the shortstop are still the same. I can't see third base. Won't show me the number. I was not paying attention to where they all dispersed afterwards, so we'll get it to you at some point here. We'll try to piece it together. Actually, be able to see it here in just a second. Still 18 at third base.
Okay, here we go. Left-handed hitting Paxton. Lukic, throw down to second. Oh,
the Jasper fan's not going to be happy about
that one. The Jasper shortstop thought he had him. He's staring a hole through the umpire with his hands in the air, and I got to say, I thought they had him. But I'm thankful that the umpire called it the other way. It was a great move by the pitcher. Those first couple of guys on base, and then somebody in the middle of the order can drive them in. Fastball upstairs, 1-1. A beautiful night in the state capitol. We're happy to be here bringing you this ball game. Check swing, appeal down to first. Another called strike. Jasper very unhappy about it. And as an Andrean, as somebody who's rooting for Andrean, I have to say, I can understand why they're upset about that, but we'll take it.
Well, this came a lot.
They tend to even out over the course of a game.
I'm going to say this, and they're kids. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to be this is a lot of pressure on all these kids in the dugout and on the field and everything. But
there's a pitch, strike three looking. The inning is over. Coons is retired. 1, 2, 3. Nothing across. We're moving to the 7th. And Chris tied it up at 2.
That is 10 retired in a row for Andrean.
They are rolling.
For Jasper.
They are rolling. Let's move to the 7th. We're tied up at 2 on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With offices in Munster and Cedar Lake, Ethos Dental Group offers a full scope of general and cosmetic dentistry with expertise ranging from porcelain veneers to dental implants, crowns, and bridges. At Ethos Dental Group, you're assured that Dr. Mark Stojkovic and his associates, Dr. Emily Hansen and Dr. Brian Douts, utilize the latest in technology. Check out ethosdentalgroup.com or call 219-595-3432 to schedule an appointment. Ethos Dental Group, dental care you can believe in.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the Nika contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
And we return to Victory Field. Will it be victory for the Niners? We hope so. We're in the 7th, top half. Andrean has found a way to tie it up with 2 runs in the 6th. And now they're putting pressure on Jasper here as we go to the top half of the 7th.
We said 9-1-2 hitters.
Yep, that'll be Chase Nelson, Blake Cowder, and Mason Barth. Let's see if Andrean can get themselves a base runner here.
I'm being difficult, Chris.
I know how you are, Michael.
I'm making a funny to Chris.
And it was funny.
0-1. Count to Nelson here. 0 for 1 on the day. He had a walk. back in the third.
There's a line smash into the left center field gap for a base hit. The left fielder cuts it off, but it will be a leadoff single for Chase Nelson. We go to the top of the order. Boy, just what the doctor ordered there, Michael.
You talk about flipping a script. This thing has totally turned on its heel. The Jasper fans were up. They were cheering. They were loud. They're all down. They're quiet. They're getting frustrated at some of the calls they're not agreeing with. And Andrean, like we said, I was saying this, Andrean was not scoring their runs off of mistakes. They are scoring their runs by just hitting the ball and putting it where they're not.
Cowder now the hitter. He shows bunt. Throw over to first, runner dives back. Yeah, I do the same thing here. I'd play for that one run, Michael. Get him into scoring position for Mason Barth.
And then when you go to the bottom of the seventh, Chris, you're looking ahead a little bit. Jasper, 7, 8, 9 hitters.
That lines up pretty good. There's a bunt, pushed foul up the first base side.
Obviously we don't know how many bunts these guys are doing throughout the regular season, but, got to be smart. That one was high. That wasn't the best location. Let that one go. Is Pishker calling out some kind of
Yeah, Dave uses the charts. He's not one of the. He's not. Whereas a lot of guys make signal or do different moves or whatever.
Well, I've heard
Dave has a numbers chart.
Right, a lot of coaches are doing that now. They all scream out different numbers. That's what the first baseman's like. Wait, okay, I got to look at my arm sleeve here. That's why everybody called time because he didn't get the numbers right.
Here comes the 0-1. Cowder shows bunt again. Same thing, Michael.
Yeah, it comes in. And
Same thing as last time, like you said. The pitch is coming in high intentionally, and the pitcher is basically hitting the bat with the ball, not the other way around.
Right.
The batter needs to get the bat out of there. Now it's a 2-strike situation, probably taking the bunt off.
And then they got to switch it up. Yep.
And it really could be a 2-ball situation if he's able to get the bat out of the way of those two pitches.
And
I know that's a lot easier said than done.
Oh, yeah, no question. Because you're told do the bunt. So what are you going to do? You're going to go bunt it. Now
Time is called.
I tell you what, if I'm Jasper, I'm going bananas.
And they are, including their manager.
And they should. And I'm glad the pitcher.
Late timeout.
It was a late timeout, and I'm glad the pitcher still threw his pitch because you can get so much damage by holding and stopping like that. That's a late call. And then he gets plunked.
Oh, he gets hit on he's showing bunt again. The pitch is inside, and it hits him. What a break. Andrean, who wasn't getting any breaks earlier, is getting them now.
Oh, yeah, you got Coons who clearly the late call, I'm not saying that's, 100%. It looks like it may have rattled him a little bit, though. Man. And now you got Mason Barth going to Notre Dame. No, wait. Oh, he's a switch hitter? Yeah, that's Barth. He's a switch hitter. Okay. Unless my eyes have just deceived me the whole night. Yep, does have a B next to his name for bat. And he gets plunked.
He gets hit as well. Wow. The bases are loaded. Wow. Let me get my book caught up here.
Ooh, man. And they're going to have a meeting out on the mound. And it's not with the coach. It was the infield that came in to talk to their pitcher, to talk to Coons.
Yeah, the Jasper coach actually came out and had a word with the home plate umpire between those pitches.
So the infield wanted to play in. Now, coach is telling them to back off a little bit.
And the whole Jasper side of things here, including the team, just seems to be in a state of shock, Michael. This is Caden Maxwell. He takes a strike. Base is full of Niners. And nobody out.
Yeah, middle infield is playing about even with the bags. First baseman is holding the runner on. Third baseman is kind of just behind the bag a little bit, but they want to definitely play where if it bounces to them, they can definitely throw home.
Yep. That's what they're doing.
But
they're giving themselves an option. Correct.
They're still deep enough where they could potentially
make a play. Exactly.
Turn 2 if they can do it.
Well,
you want to go home first.
I think yes. Right.
First priority.
This is the 7th inning here. You give up the lead
because runners will have to go on contact.
Here comes the 1-2.
Maxwell 1 for 3. Scored that run in the 6th.
Here's the pitch. Ooh, swung on and missed. Maxwell is retired. That's the 2nd out of the inning.
8th strikeout of the day for Andrean hitters. Now your middle infield is going to play back at their normal depth to try to turn the 2. First baseman is going to hold the runner on, and third base is playing about just slightly behind the bag over there.
Right, we got 1 out in the inning. I said 2, right? We got 1?
There is 1 out in the inning,
1 out,
yes.
correct. Yep.
Yeah. Single, hit by pitch, strikeout. And he gets
another hit batter. Andrean has the lead. Wow, 3 hit batters in the inning. That's Charlie Saulers, hit by pitch. He gets a lead run RBI out of it. Wow.
Probably Nelson his favorite scores. RBI of the year.
Nelson scores. Cowder moves to 3rd. Barth goes to 2nd. I've never seen anything like this.
Saulers with his 37th RBI. Might be a little bit painful, but he'll take it.
3 hit batters in the inning. And there's a pitch upstairs to Mack. Andrean now with a 3-2 lead.
Chris, Lake Central last year won it in the bottom of the 12th inning by 4 straight walks. Andrean could win it by having 4 or 3 straight hit by pitches.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely shocking what's happened here in the last 20 minutes or so.
The base is still loaded. Infield still playing the exact same way we described before.
And now whatever noise you're hearing is coming from the first base side of things, the Andrean fans. Stunned silence to our left. Here's the pitch up high. Kuhn struggling with his control, Michael. .9:30 in the Calumet region. Thank you for joining us on this Friday night.
Well, and if you're an Andrean...
Outside, ball 4. Andrean gets another run. They're doing it without hitting the ball, Michael. Just 1 hit in the inning.
1 hit in the inning. A fun note here from Nathan Laird, Chris. Earlier this year, Andrean set the state record for most hit by pitches as a team. Who would have thought that would come to fruition in the state final game?
How about that? Well, they do crowd the plate.
Everybody does anymore.
All right, Mack is at first. Luke Gobin now the hitter. Or the batter, I should say. We don't know if he'll hit. He might get hit. He might walk. Who knows? Andrean hasn't needed a whole lot of offensive punch this inning. No balls, 1 strike to the left-handed hitter. Bases full of Niners. There's a pitch over for a strike. 0-2 the count.
Gobin 1 for 3 on the day. He had that game-tying RBI single last inning.
Here's the pitch. Up high for a ball. 1-2 the count.
2 runs in the 6th, 2 runs in the 7th, and we're still going here in the 7th. We talked about it getting late. Man, Andrean must have heard you down there.
Yeah, it got late, and they got hot, and that's the way to do it. Fly ball, actually a pop-up, third base side. Third baseman, he drops the ball. The bases are loaded. The throw will come home. They'll get the out there.
Literally nothing Barth could do on that because it looked like it was going to get popped up. There was no infield fly. I didn't see any umpire point to the air, and that's where now coaches are starting to come out and talk.
Yeah, why?
Well, now
it was
hold
pretty
on,
routine.
wait a minute. wait a minute. Now all of a sudden,
the
third base umpire has said that I called infield fly. I did not see a hand in the air. Pishker must have seen it. I didn't see him put his hand in the air because then all of a sudden the runner, the batter, is automatically out, and then the runners run at their own accord. Barth clearly didn't see it.
So it's a double play. But Dave Pishker must have saw it because he didn't say anything after the inning.
Unless he's just content with having the 2 runs. I don't know. Because I did not
I can't believe that's the case.
I didn't see anybody put a hand in the air.
Yeah.
First base umpire did call. Okay, all right, because I didn't see it. So first base umpire must have called it because holy moly.
So is that the way it works, Michael? As a base runner, you have to check with all 4 umpires? Or would it be – I mean, I would think that would be the third baseman's umpire's call, not the first baseman. If you're a third base runner,
that's
you're
on
required to look at third?
It's on the coach, too. The coach should kind of know. I mean, somebody's got to be out there screaming. Well, I guess we're just going to keep it here to explain this. I mean, if that's what's being called, I assume that's what's being called.
What else could it be? I mean, yeah, exactly. But again, Dave Pishker, third base coach there, did not argue that whatsoever.
Well, and then I'm wondering, and we would have to check with Larry on this. If one umpire calls it, do they all have to check to see if are they all checking each other to call it? Because if one calls it and only one of them calls it,
right, exactly. How did they figure out the first base umpire called it? If nobody comes out and discusses it.
Now, I'm going to say this. We're also going at the word of an IHSA official up here who is pointing, saying that he saw the first base umpire say that. So we didn't see it.
We don't know that is actually what happened. But, yeah, a lot of confusion. And it seems to me, I mean, if that's the rule, an umpire 180 feet away can make a call like that with the bases loaded and every base runner has to know to look at him, that seems, I don't know.
That's
we'll
tough.
have to find out about that. Yeah, but either way, okay, regardless, everybody, the good news is Andrean has a 2-run lead. We're going to the bottom of the 7th in the 3A State Baseball Championship game. Andrean was trailing by 2 the whole game. They're leading by 2 now. They get 3 outs before they give up 2 runs, and they've won their 9th state championship. Here's the pitch. Check swing strike. Mostalski on the hill. Salas, Lukic, and Gordon, the outfield, left, center, and right. Nelson, Barth, Dutton, and Maxwell, the infield, third to first. Mostalski and Kruder.
And I think that hit.
What do we have here?
That may have hit Springer, and Springer's saying, I think it hit me, but he could have hit the bat. I think the home plate umpire is saying it hit the bat. They're going to appeal down to third base to see if he saw or heard anything different. Remember how you said umpires don't have to make calls at third?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for a third base umpire 100 feet away if the home plate umpire can't.
Now they're giving it to him.
They're giving him first base.
And here comes Pishker.
Wow.
And you know what? To me, what you just alluded to is Pishker has an argument. How does the umpire, all the way down the third baseline, have a better
understanding of what just took place?
Hear,
right.
Whatever.
Right. One has to. I mean, and you'll see that 1,000 times and 999 times it's the same call the home plate umpire made. It's rarely is it a situation where the call is changed or something like that by a base umpire. But that's what happened here, and what does it do? It makes the game just a little bit more exciting, Michael. Because now we have the tying run.
Too exciting for some.
Yeah, the potential tying run is standing at home plate now with nobody out.
Swing and a miss. So Gudorf batting here with a runner on first, 0-1. 0 for 1 of the day for Gudorf.
Swung on and missed. Boy, the tension here, Michael. Woo! Just what you'd expect it to be at this point of the ball game.
Well, we said at this one would be fun, and this would probably be the most competitive game.
Mostalski checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's the first out of the inning.
Well, we had mentioned going out of the 6th inning, 10 batters retired in a row. Then we had the hit by pitch, and then what does Mostalski do to come back after the hit by pitch? Oh, just come out and get a strikeout. Ho-hum. And we'll have a pinch hitter. Well, this is the first baseman, Drake Hagan, for Lukemire here. First pitch is called a strike, so 0-1 quickly here.
Here's the pitch.
Upstairs, 1-1. So this is in the spot of Lukemire, who had a sacrifice fly in the second and struck out. This is Hagan's first at bat, and what an opportune time to come up here.
There's a pitch on the outside corner. That's a strike. There's a pitch taken for strike 3, looking. Jasper is down to their final out. We're good.
So back up to the top of the order. Lovin. First pitch misses upstairs, ball 1. 1 on, 2 outs, Andrean looking for another 3A state championship.
Woo, just outside. How about the Niners? Down all game. But boy, they got hot at just the right time. 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. They're trying to close it out now.
Andrean is looking for their 19th state championship in school history across all their sports, and the first one since the 21-22 season when they won titles in girls volleyball, football, and baseball.
That was quite a year for the Niners. And yeah, they have had a 2-decade run of success that I would think no other school in Northwest Indiana has the amount of team state championships over that period.
And we had to...
well, I'm sure nobody, when you consider just 8 baseball all alone.
Well, just think back then, there was no state championship for boys volleyball, so now we have to preface that it was girls volleyball too.
Okay, the meeting on the mound is over.
And that was just to get Mostalski's head right here after that 3-0 count.
Here it comes. That's over. 3-1. The hitter taking all the way.
Working from that third base side of the rubber. So he kind of wants to work maybe the outside or have it tail back in on the lefty.
Here's the pitch. Fouled back. Got the umpire in the mask. Now the count is full. Jasper down to their last strike.
Andrean fans are up. The Jasper fans are starting to stir. They want to get their tying run on base.
Woo, here we go. Mostalski checks with the catcher, has the sign. The runner goes. Ball forward, gets away. The
runner's going down to...
Nope, he's going to hold up. Smart. That went all the way back to the screen, to the wall, which is a pretty good distance here at Victory Field. So the runner who was breaking on the 3-2 with 2 out rounded second at full speed. Then pulled up all of a sudden.
Yeah, he was definitely... He had third base on his mind. He had evil intentions for sure.
That'd be a long ride back to Jasper if you make the last out on the bases, Michael, in a situation like that. So I think he made the smart choice to pull up.
Well, and how quickly did he pick up his third base coach? Or did he just go on his own? Now we're got a time call here. Are we going with a pitching? As Pischker comes out, are we going with a pitching change?
Woo!
Mostelski doesn't seem happy coming off the mound.
Well, no one in the bullpen, so if Dave's going with somebody, it's going to be somebody who's already out on the field.
We did have people warming up earlier.
Oh, let's see. Anybody come? Nope, nobody's coming out of the dugout yet. Nope. He's not going to make a change here.
Okay. I think just talking about the situation. 2 outs in the inning, 2 on.
Boy, how many times has he been here before in those situations?
Cool
as a cucumber.
I mean, you talk about a coach. Who's coming out?
Well, we do have some changes going on here. After a long meeting on the mound, and then the meeting broke up, and then we get a change, but I don't think it's going to be at pitcher. It's not, right?
No, I believe that's Mostelski that is coming out.
It's correct. We've got a lefty on the mound. Wow, how did this happen? I can't get a number yet who that is.
Number 11. That's Maxwell.
Yeah, I was going to say he had to come in. Whoever came in had to do it from the field because nobody came in from the bullpen or dugout. At least not to pitch. Who do we have at first now?
That's Matt Kulig.
Okay, so Kulig is the one that came out of the dugout. But that makes sense because Kulig didn't go to the mound. The meeting was already broken up. Pischker was heading back to the dugout.
Tell you what, Chris, what a cool story here. You got Matt Kulig, a freshman on this Andrean team. His brother, Trent, a senior on this team. How often do you get to see brothers on a team like that?
Yeah, how about it?
A state title together.
And this is the freshman here?
This is the freshman.
So freshman getting in late in the ball game.
Yeah,
in the state championship. How about that?
And at first base where you're probably going to be getting a throw. Maybe.
Well, I'm looking at him warming up over there, and he doesn't look like a nervous freshman in there.
You talk about call him as a cucumber. I have to admit, I've had both Trent and Matt as students in the classroom.
So you would have had this young man then just recently then?
Last year.
Okay.
Had him twice actually, 7th and 8th grade.
All right, here's the situation. Andrean up by 2, bottom of the 7th. Last at bat, at least in regulation time. So that means Jasper either has to tie it or win it here in this inning. If they don't, Andrean wins it. If it's tied, we go to extra innings. Runners at first and second, so the tying runs are on base.
We went 12 innings in the 4A game last year, Chris.
Well, we want to win it in regulation here. We want 7. We want to do it right now. Who do we have up there, Michael? This is Geisler.
Should be Geisler, yep.
Yep, left-handed hitter.
First pitch outside.
Big gap out there over the second baseman's head, Mike. Boy, oh boy, if he gets a line drive there, we're going to have a tie ball game.
That's that right center area.
Yep.
Andrean's playing the same way that Jasper did.
There's a pitch. Woo! Yeah, that ball had some movement on it. 1-1 to count. 2 out, everybody. 1 more here in the bottom of the 7th, and Andrean will be your 3A state champs. Here's the pitch. Outside, nice stop by the catcher.
Cotter doing a good job back there.
Here comes the 2-1. Down low, 3-1. Caden Maxwell, the left-hander.
You know, the obvious thing is, bases loaded, everybody thinks that's automatically a bad thing. It's not the worst thing in the world because you force you force at any base. So you can literally go anywhere, whatever's closest to you.
Yeah, I think the situation is a little bit different if that runner's already at third. Moving him down to third, however, due to a walk or something, not the ideal game plan. But, yeah, once they're on third, it puts a force in any base. Swung on and missed. Woo! 3-2, 2 out, 2 on, 2-run game, Michael.
Can you? I mean, this is like storybook stuff.
How about it? 3 balls, 2 strikes, tying runs on base. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, second baseman, down on a knee, picks it up. Oh, no! A wild throw. 2 runs are going to score. We're tied up. The ball went into the dugout. Oh, my. Oh, they're moving a runner back to third. Maybe it didn't go in the dugout. I didn't see the ball.
I didn't.
It's never come back into play.
It was over by the dugout. I don't think anybody touched it. And that throw was nowhere close to first base. I mean, that's we were talking about Kulig at first being a freshman. That wasn't the situation.
And now Dave Pishker.
Are we making a pitching change again?
I think so.
Yep. And we'll have other positions because I just saw 2 kids leave the mound or leave the field.
Wow, what a series of events here in a short time. That was potentially the state championship winning play. Dutton made a nice play to field it. It was a sharply hit grounder in the hole at second, between first and second.
And
he went down to a knee, scooped it up, got to his feet, and was just off target. Significantly, unfortunately, off target. But luckily for Andrean, for some reason, the umpires, and I'm going to find this out later. I'm curious why that run isn't counting. I'm glad it isn't.
Well, because if it didn't go into the,
but there was never a play made on it.
That's
Andrean
right.
never picked up the ball. All the runners could score if the ball's not in the dugout, right? If the ball is in play, the runners can keep going.
Why. Okay, here's why. Because he was at first base. If it goes in the dugout, it's 2. You get 2 bases. So he was at first base. He gets 2 bases. So that's why he's at third.
You're right. Yep. I was thinking he was at second. You're right.
No,
that was the lead runner was at second. My bad.
Correct. That's why.
That's what it is. Yep.
You probably were saying it, and I wasn't processing because I'm watching. Because Kulig is now at second, Dutton is now at short, Barth is on the mound.
All right. So, is it 2 bases or is it the base you're heading at and 1 more? I'm not quite sure exactly, but either way, runners are at second and third. That's the winning run, Michael, out there at second base.
Yes.
So Andrean a long way from out of this.
Yeah, I think it's 2 bases. I mean, it might be technically written whatever base you're heading to plus 1, but in essence,
that would be 2 bases.
Correct.
But, well, that all depends.
Right,
that runner already rounded second.
Yeah,
and I thought he had. That's where I'm coming from. I thought he had already rounded second by the time the ball went into the dugout, which would give him third plus 1 more. And I think that's what the base runner was expecting. When he got told go back to third, he was maybe the most surprised guy in the house. But okay, woo! Thanks for staying with us, everybody. We hope you're enjoying this just as much as we are. The bases are loaded, a free pass. Michael, I hope your book is good because
it's close enough.
Number 15, A.J. Heisman.
Okay, the ball, you advance to the runners advance 1 base from their last legally touched base at the time the ball became dead. So basically 2 bags.
Yep. And the ball must have went in the dugout because it was never played. I don't know if there have been any other changes out there.
It is. I know it's Kulig.
Maxwell back at first?
Maxwell's back at first. Kulig's at second. Dutton is at short because it's Mason Barth in to pitch.
Okay.
And I believe that's it.
Tying run at third. Winning run at second. 2 out. Woo, it almost hit him. Wow, and he just turned out of the way, Michael. I'm thinking if that young man has that pitch to do over again, he's letting it hit his sleeve jersey.
I worked with Doug Nelson last year. He put on whatever protective armor you got and let it hit you.
Wasn't going to hit him in the head. Was going to hit him in the sleeve. Swung on and missed a big pitch, a big swing on a high fastball. 1-1 the count. Michael, I'm concerned about a single to the outfield. Can the Andrean 59ers, where they're playing, make a good throw home? Swung on and missed. 1-2. Third straight batter. Jasper's down to their last strike. Talk about a resilient club, both of these. Wow, what a game. What a seventh inning. One and two the count. Mason Barth on the rubber. Here comes the pitch. Strike three. That's it. Andrean wins. Andrean wins. Andrean wins.
The dog pile almost on the mound. And you see the jubilation, the redemption tour
is complete.
Is complete. You know, we were told the shirts that all the fans are wearing down there, there's a baseball diamond on it, right, Chris? There's a baseball diamond, and 8 positions have a year that they won a state title, and in the catcher position it says bring it home.
And they have. They can complete that T-shirt now. Title number 9 in baseball for Dave Pischker and his Andrean 59er baseball program. Congratulations. What a way to do it here. Exciting as it gets.
Certainly not without its tense moments, its dramatic calls, its dramatic moments.
The Jasper side here and including their entire team in absolute shock, Michael, they really were rolling into the 6th inning. And somehow Andrean found a way to tie it up in that 6th inning, take the lead in the 7th, and hold off a furious comeback here in the bottom of the 7th. What a ball game.
And I mean, we talked at the very open about this, Chris. These kind of moments, things have to break your way. Toward the end of the game, things broke Andrean's way. Early in the game, it did not. You missed a ball here in foul territory, right? You take a bad hop at third base. Nothing you can do about that. Last play of the game, you're thinking, oh my, that throw from second base off to first base, the tying run we thought might go. You know, luckily for Dutton, it went into the camera well. It went into the dugout. But they overcame that. They overcame the challenges, and when they did score, it wasn't they were capitalizing on mistakes from. We talked about this. There wasn't Jasper mistakes. Maybe pitching-wise, they were mistakes and where they were placing them, but they didn't really make fielding errors. So they did this the hard way. They made their mistakes. They had to battle back after making mistakes, and they just hit the ball.
An absolutely fantastic finish. We're going to have video highlights for you coming up in the next couple of days, and you're going to want to see them. Absolute incredible stuff out here tonight. The Andrean 59ers, title number 9, and you got to give them all the credit in the world. I don't know. Out of the 9 they've won, I don't know if they've had to go about it a harder way than they did today. I mean, not only were they trailing by 2 runs going into the 6th inning against a pitcher who was rolling on them. Then you get to the bottom of the 7th, Michael. And
you know, it starts with a hit by pitch.
Yes. I mean,
you had retired 10 in a row.
Things are going to start falling apart, it looked like.
Well, you hit by pitch, then get 2 strikeouts, then a walk, then the error.
It's right. It's almost like what can go wrong? What can go wrong next for Andrean? And somehow they found a way to close it out. And boy, I got to tell you,
and they are about to announce the Mental Attitude Award winner, so we'll find out. It'll be a senior from one of these 2 schools. They'll get a $1,000 scholarship, or the school will get a $1,000 scholarship, or whatever the case may be. And you know, these are players that are nominated by their coaches, so they will get an opportunity for that, which is always a cool moment. They do this at all the state championship games. They give a Mental Attitude Award winner. So it doesn't have to necessarily go to the winning team. It can go to the losing team as well. So we'll wait and see who wins that. And for the record, these have no bearing on our award winners.
Nope, which we'll name next.
Yep, we will have those.
Executive Committee. The student was nominated by his principal, athletic director, and coach, and excelled in mental attitude, athletic ability, scholarship, and leadership. The winner of the 2025 L.D. Phillips Mental Attitude Award for Class 3A Baseball is Braxton Roseburg from Jasper High School.
So Braxton Brosmer, your Mental Attitude Award winner for Jasper. So we said it doesn't have to necessarily go to a member of the winning team. Oh man.
Whew, you ain't kidding, Michael. You are not kidding. What a game.
I am looking up and down these lineups just to kind of see where we want to go with award winners. And then we'll start giving out the runner-up ribbons, and then we'll also give the state championship to Andrean here in a little bit.
Yeah, all of the post-game festivities are coming up here. We're kind of looking through things to decide who's gonna get what award.
All right, I think I've got him. If you want to, I don't know. Do you want to give one? I give one. If we happen to have the same one, and that award winner has the same.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Hold on, Michael.
No, you're good. I know you're doing the second part of the job. You're doing the social media updates. Then I guess my other question is, do you want to?
What's that?
I said, do you want to leave it just Andrean, or do you want to include Jasper on these awards?
Well, I would include Jasper if we don't have Andrean winners.
That's true. Well, I mean,
if Andrean is, how are you looking? Who do you think is?
Well, let's go ahead and name our Crowell Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game. The Crowell Companies are proud to recognize the superheroes on the baseball diamond. I don't know about you. I'm going to go with Mason Barth on this one. I thought he played a great game at shortstop. He had a single, a walk. He was hit by that pitch in the 7th inning. He had that hard hit ball that was out to center, so probably could have had his second hit of the game. And then he comes in with, 1 out remaining and gets that final out, gets that final strikeout, the 10th strikeout of the day for Andrean pitching. So I think he had a great all-around game, and again, a great game at shortstop as well. So I'm going to say Mason Barth, our Crowell Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game. And then we can go with our...
Well, before we do that, let's mention that the Crowell Companies are proud to sponsor the Lantern Man superhero on the baseball diamond, and they are the business professionals who are proud to recognize the superheroes on the diamond. And we want to thank Tom and Bob Crowell for their support of the Region Sports Network. And now we can go to our local 374 blue-collar player of the game, Michael.
All right, I'm going to go. Can we go co-award on this one? I got one for Andrean and one for Jasper. You cool with that?
Go for it, Michael.
All right, let's start with Jasper. I want to go with Jack
I had a feeling you might go with him.
Jack
And he had
I
a worthy performance.
5 2/3, gave up only 5 hits, two of the runs, struck out 7, walked 4. But I just thought he had a great performance out there for Jasper. Really was the reason that kind of Andrean was held off the board for as long as they were. And it wasn't until he kind of came out of there that things kind of unraveled for Jasper. And then we'll also go with Mostelski for Andrean. He went 4 1/3, gave up only the 1 hit, the unearned run, struck out 7, walked 2. I mean, he came in
the ball game.
I mean, we only had 2 base runners 3 base runners while he was in there. So
yeah, he really kept him in the ball game.
Yeah, came in and kind of shut down everything there. And then
that is the blue collar player of the game, brought to you by Local 374.
And then
earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. They are hiring and training apprentices.
And you want to go with play of the game?
Let's do it. What do we got for player of the game? Let's talk about this, Michael. The proud Union home. Proud to be Union home play of the game. Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Iron Worker, visit ironworkers395.com. And Michael, I mean, whatever it is, it's got to come down to something in the 6th or 7th inning, right?
Okay, so easy one. I'm going to call that, we could say, the play of the game, that strikeout to end the game, to seal it. You had bases loaded. That tying run at second, or that winning run at second base. Barth comes in and shuts it down, gets the strikeout. Easy call for play of the game. But I actually am going to go to the 3rd inning. Coons comes up. He gets ready to bat. There's a ground ball to second base. They had runners on first and second. And this was this was kind of just felt like a momentum change where they were starting to probably keep their momentum a little bit, like they might score. And then there was that play deep in the hole at second base where he kind of slid, remember? He slid out in the outfield and kind of picked that one up and kind of stopped any momentum from gaining for the Jasper Wildcats. So I kind of feel like that one kind of helped keep that one at bay and keep it a close game in that
let's
3rd
do
inning.
this then, like we did for the Boilermakers Award, a blue collar. Let's split the award, because I think that's a worthy play, but leaving out a championship winning play like that also would be tough to do under that situation as you see the Niners getting their trophy. So let's go with co-plays of the game,
Co-plays of the game, perfect for me. I like it. So that strikeout and then that ground ball to second base.
Go to ironworkers395.com to start your future as a Union Iron Worker. Well, wow, just like that, the baseball season's over, Michael.
Well, for these two teams, you guys still got games tomorrow.
Well, that's not something we got to announce. So we get a little bit of a break. But what a season! What a season it was. We did a lot of baseball and softball games. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. We do have 2 more games. I was thinking tomorrow was Sunday.
No.
Today is only Friday. I'm going
to let you roll with it.
Yeah,
like this.
We do have 2 more. I'm not done working yet. Excuse me, everybody. Sorry about that. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
it feels like a Saturday night. I don't know.
You got the Valpo game. I know Leo Staudiker will be down here tomorrow to call the Boone Grove game.
Yep.
Congrats to Leo. I don't know if this is his first state championship call, but if it is, good luck to him.
Yep, Michael, thank you for coming down and sitting with us through this one, as well as calling the early game. It's been fun. It was an exciting game.
I love doing this. This is so much fun. Nothing better than, getting to watch, players that have worked so hard. And this revenge tour, the narrative was they got knocked out of sectionals in a way that they never thought was ever going to be possible in their storied history. They get blown out of that sectional championship game, and this is, what comes of that. This is when you make Andrean 59ers mad, look what happens.
They really proved that they are a powerhouse program coming from behind against another powerhouse program who really was sort of dominating the game until late, and Andrean found a way to get a spark, do something with it, tie the ball game, and ultimately take the lead.
What's that old adage? It's not how you start, but how you finish, right?
And they finished strong today, that's for sure. So congratulations to Dave Pishker and Andrean High School on winning their 9th state baseball championship. We We want to thank everybody that spent the season and the school year listening to us. We've got one more day, as Michael pointed out. We'll have Boone Grove and Valpo tomorrow. But for now, we're going to sign off. We've got a few credits to give. Zach Miller is our producer tonight. Our cameramen are Zach Zanelli and Chris Backus. Our broadcast crew includes myself, Michael Bradner, Zach Miller, Zach Zanelli. Mike Dewan is our sports director. Rich Castillo is our operations manager. Chris Backus is here with us as well. The coaches in today's ball game, Dave Pishker and Terry Gobert. The athletic directors, Neil Demos for Andrean, Phil Kendall for Jasper. We want to thank the viewers of the IHSA Champions Network, the viewers and listeners on our Facebook, YouTube, and website. Thank you all, not only for today, but for all season, for all year, and for all time. We couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't do it without you. What would be the point? So thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We hope even more that you enjoyed the outcome. For everybody here, Zach Miller, Zach Zanelli, and my partner tonight, Michael Bradner, I'm Chris Ramirez. Thanks, everybody, for listening. This has been a production of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.